Alrighty, welcome back to part 2 of an absolutely necessary recap of Minecraft Once Upon a Time. If you haven't watched the first episode, what are you doing? Go watch the first one? I don't know what we're doing here. Don't know if y'all watched the first one recently. I got my sweet treat. Honestly, probably one of the worst sweet treats to get while you're recording a video because you gotta chew the boba. So we left off on episode 22. No, we finished 22. Now we're on episode 23. And if you don't remember what happened in the last episode, let me give a quick little summary. Hope touched the guy who's been sleeping, and now he's back, and they're all heading to Eros. So that's kind of all you need to remember from the last episode. Okay, episode 23, A Journey Begins. And this will be like I don't want to say it's the last time. Is it the last time we're in Ashen? They're in Eros for a while. I think they're there for the rest of the season. And so we never see Skylar's house fully built. Tragic. Okay. Episode 23, A Journey Begins. It opens up with Skylar changing her aura. If you remember, she's changing her aura. She's thinking of death. Why was she doing it? Oh, right, yeah. So her mom and the people after her wouldn't come after her and put Eros in danger because she's leaving Ashen because the concept of her is so scary over there that they're go to another village because our guards aren't here. I am terrible at explaining things. I learned this yesterday when my stepsister's boyfriend asked me to explain Rocky Horror Picture Show. So he got lost because that movie is absolutely insane, and my dad explained it in 3 sentences where it took me 3 minutes. But I think that's good for this because I go into detail for every episode. Frankly, a lot of details that aren't necessary. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so the boys, we learn his name is Colin, and he has amnesia. Very convenient. So Skylar goes to our favorite room, the meeting room. Jasmine is everyone's in this meeting room. Jasmine asks what happened, and Hope is I touched him. And Skylar asks if she's ever been touched by a god, and Hope's what the hell's that? And it's Hope, me too, I don't know, and I already explained it. Skylar explains it, and then she's okay. And then she also says that he has amnesia, his name is Colin, and he's a demigod, and that's all they know. Arthur is surprised, rightfully so, and is what the heck? And then everyone just tells him to shut up. Jonathan says that he needs to bring him because he could be in danger, because he is a demigod. And he tells Skylar to go and talk to him because they have stuff in common, like being redheads. So she goes to talk to him, and he's freaked out, and he gives nothing. He tells us nothing because he has amnesia. Skylar tells him that he's a demigod and that they're leaving tomorrow. Right. Skylar goes to her room, and Jonathan runs off to, the meeting room. Does he live in there? What's going on? Then there's a pan around the village, and it's the next day. The sun has risen. The next day, Skylar is by Albin's grave, and then Arthur is there and says, I heard about what happened. She turns around, and I forgot he had a black eye, and I just started laughing again for some reason. I wrote it in my notes. I said, and I started audibly laughing. There we go. Then they talk for a bit. I didn't write down what they talked about, but it must have not been important. I don't know. So they run into Colin, who's staring at the statue in the plaza, and then they go off. And if we remember, the statue in the center, her name is Celcio. Not Celsius. Celesio? Boy, I don't remember. The goddess of fire. Episode 24. Trapped. They left on their journey, and then they decide to take a break, and then they all are mean to Arthur. Then a swarm of bandits come and surround them, and it's the bandits that Skylar stole the goat from. They want their revenge for stealing the goat. I don't know. The bandit says that she can't use magics this time because there's a buffer spell around them, which makes magics not good. It means you can't use them. Jonathan is okay, guys, plan. run for it. The head guard of a village just says run for it. And you know what? There were way too many bandits for all of them to fight. Skylar runs and gets split up with Arthur and Colin, and they wander around for a bit, and then it starts to storm. Colin starts freaking out and runs into a cave. Arthur's like, boy, I got a strict timeline. We have to keep going. Then he's like, okay, whatever. And then he goes pout in the corner because it's pouring outside and Colin is refusing to leave the cave. Skylar starts a fire and chats with Colin. Apparently he hasn't slept in a while because he's afraid if he falls asleep he won't wake up, and by a while I mean one night. But even like not sleeping for one night, like having sleep deprivation, like girl, you can hallucinate and go crazy. Trust, I was in college and I was up for 3 days straight once. Yes, I did start hallucinating. You want to know what it was? So I like had just gotten out of the shower and I saw a red bucket, but I thought it was Chucky. And so then I ran upstairs to my room and I looked in my bathroom, which was next to my room, and I saw Ryuk from Death Note. And then I sprinted inside my room, slammed the door shut, somehow marathon jumped onto my bed. What is it called? Cross country jumped? I don't know. But I jumped far, like almost from my doorway to my bed, and just kind of sat there with my roommate's cat and fell asleep for 20 minutes and woke up. Then he says he just really likes the fire and it's calming him down. He's like really sleepy, and Skylar's like, don't worry, I'll wake you up. Like, you're gonna wake up, don't worry about it. And he's like, sick, cool. And then he goes to sleep. She goes over to talk to Arthur. Then they fight because of course they do. Skylar's like, why do you freaking hate me so much? And he just says he doesn't hate her. He just finds her annoying and doesn't like annoying people. Boy, you were mean to her since the moment you met her. You called her it. Skylar's like, well, you're not heartless because you helped me this morning. And he's like, grieving people are different, and says that he lost someone, then is like, leave me alone. Which we do learn more about later. Skylar says she's gonna go and explore the cave more. Arthur's like, don't do that, there's dark magic here. And she's like, well, what do you know about dark magic? And he's like, just don't go in there, it's dangerous. And she's like, well, screw you. She goes anyways and sees 3 monster thingies. I don't know how to explain it. I think they're the shadows. You know what the shadow souls from Minecraft Diary looks like? It's those shadow souls. She sees those like shadow soul looking things, and she's like, whoa. They go to attack her, and then Arthur goes in and he attacks them. He has like a sword that magically appears. Oh my god, like out of nowhere. Hello, what's going on with that? I don't know. Then it magically disappears after he kills them. Skylar is like, how did you do that? And he's like, none y'all business. Let's go back to where we were, and I told you so. And then there is like this magical doorway. Like, okay, imagine door, and then there's like blocks that have like what the hell are they called? Particles around them. So it like looks magical and stuff. Then she's like, let's go in. He's like, I'm not going through a door that is whispering to me. And she's like, there is literally nothing whispering. He's like, oh great, Skylar, you finally made me go crazy. Oh great. Then Skylar is like, I'm gonna go in. So then they enter the creepy room, and there's a giant web and a broken statue, and Arthur acts suspicious, and then they leave and go back to Colin. Episode 25, Nymphs of the Forest. The rain stops and they head out. They pause and argue a bit because, you know, they're lost. But Colin sees something starting to move around, and he's like, guys, do you sense that? Skylar says that she does, and then she turns around and looks behind a bush, and there's a random naked lady there. Hello? But she's like covered in mud and stuff. Apparently she knows Skylar's mom, and she begs for Skylar's help, and then she goes and helps her. There is a giant shot of a tree, and I recognize this tree because it was a really popular Minecraft map back in the day. How do I know? Because I used to do a Minecraft roleplay when I was like 12, and I used that map. Okay, guys, so you aren't gonna believe what I found. I found the map. I did not find it off of like Minecraft Planet. I found it in one of my old Gmail accounts. Which is kind of insane. How insane is that? I was not lying. Look. How, isn't this crazy? Isn't this insanity? Like, oh my god. Like, y'all don't know how excited I am right now. This is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm so happy. I was trying to find my like old YouTube videos just to like look-sees, and I found this in one of my old Gmail accounts. And okay, you're probably wondering like, what is over here? This is a town I built back in the olden days. I built this when I was so young. This was for my Minecraft roleplay. There were mods in this. I have no clue what mods they were, but like, how insane is this? Like, how actually insane is this right now? How insane is this? At least I think I built this. I could be wrong. Why is there a book and quill in my... What's in here? What does this mean? Stop. What? Guys, what is going on right now? I did build this. I remember building this. This is crazy. And actually, fun fact, that series is what inspired Minecraft Wanderers. I literally have been writing, it used to be called Dead Bell Falls, and that series I wrote when I was 12 till high school. I just kept refining it, and then I decided in college I wanted to start a Minecraft roleplay again, and I took inspiration from that story and made this story. Isn't that crazy? But anyways, I recognize that tree map anywhere. It's from Minecraft Planet. You could probably still find it. So we go inside, and there is a lady named Rena. Why did I say it like that? Rena. There's a girl named Rena. She says, "Hello, heroes," and then everyone is confused, and she says that she thought they were all demigods, but Skylar corrects her and says that Colin is actually the only demigod there because she doesn't want him to know she's a demigod. But she said they were all demigods, and he's like, what? No, I'm not a demigod. And Skylar's like, yeah, I'm also not a demigod. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, she's so obvious with it. Whatever. She knows who her mom is, so obviously she's a demigod. Like, this lady, she's like the nymph lady, she's like, I know who your mom is. And then that's why she wanted to go with her, because she was like, I don't want them snitching to me, my mom. Anyways, I don't know. Rena says that the spirit protector of the forest has gone missing, as long as some of the nymphs, which don't find any of the nymphs. Frankly, I forgot that she said nymphs. I don't know. She asks if they can help find them for her. Arthur is like, well, what's in it for us? She asks him what does he want, and he says he wants to know the location of where their friends are. And Colin asks for a memory potion. She says that she can help Colin, or she says that she can help. Why am I pointing to her mom? It's not her mom. The lady says that she can help them find where their friends are, but she cannot give a memory potion to Colin. However, she can give him one of the hardest ingredients to find for a memory potion. Then she demands for one of them to stay so they don't run off. Girl, they are doing you a favor. Like, this made no sense to me, because, like, she wasn't holding them hostage. She asked them, they agreed, she's going to give them something in return. Why would they run off? Like, I don't know. Anyways, Colin stays behind, because he says he thinks he would just, like, drag them down, and Skylar and Arthur go. Nia, I think is her name. The nymph lady takes them to where the spirit protector disappeared and nothing is there. And then suddenly a giant tunnel appears. What? A giant tunnel out of nowhere. And then she was like, that's new. That was not there. And then she's like, well, I'm not going in there. You guys can go in there. Because I'm not. I'm just going to stay here. So Skylar and Arthur enter the tunnel. But also she says temple, so I guess it's a tunnel temple. They walk through it and Arthur says nothing gives him the creeps. Then Skylar throws a spider at him and he freaks out and bumps into a corner, which opens a room. See, that was going somewhere. It wasn't an unnecessary detail. Promise. There is a book on the table in there, and it says that everything in the book is written in old language. Like, she takes the book and quill, opens it, and it just says everything was written in old language. Here's what I did for the old language in my roleplay. It's just enchantment text from an enchantment table, which you can decipher. The only thing they can make out from it is the opposite will ignite the flame. That's it. And then there's also a key that just so happens to unlock the door that they couldn't get through. Whoa, convenient. So then they enter it, and the spirit protector is there, and he's trapped inside a cave, and the spirit protector is just an iron golem. He's like, thank God you guys are here. Then Skylar is like, how do you know if this is him? Then he goes, we both know how I know you, Arthur. And Skylar is like, how do you know this spirit protector? And he's like, I don't. He's crazy. I don't know what he's talking about. We just let's get him out of this cage. The spirit protector says that the darkness is coming, and the only way to get him out of the cage is for them to both touch it. Okay. He says that he is weak, so he needs to attach to one of them, and chooses Arthur. And he says, what the heck? Why did he choose me? Skylar is like, it said it knew you. He was like, he knows everyone. Let's just go. They leave and go back to Nia, and she then takes them back to the tree. Episode 26, the Bandit Clan. They go back to the magical tree, and Rena takes the protector and tells them that the bandits took them. Dadoy, obviously. So obvious. Who else would take them? Rena? She says that she'll take them to the bandit camp. She go or her girls? Either way, they're going to the bandit camp in the morning, and they're going in the morning because the bandit camp's going to be on way more high alert during the night. So now it's dinner time. They eat dinner together. Arthur runs off, and Colin tells her to go check on him, and he talks about how she doesn't want him to know that she's a demigod. By him, I mean Arthur, because Colin knows. Because they talked about it. So Colin's like, why don't you want to tell Arthur that you're a demigod? I think you should. And Skylar's like, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then she goes off to where Arthur is, and he walked like 10 blocks away. You know how it be. They walk like 10 blocks away and assume they're in private. Skylar is like, I actually wanted to talk to you about something. She asks him about the cave and the disappearing sword, because that's suspicious as hell. And he's like, it's an enchanted sword by my father, and it appears and it just disappears whenever I want. He's like, there's also something off about you. Now, guys, he carries around a different weapon. He just doesn't have, he carries around a different weapon. So if he has a sword that magically appears, why is he not just using that? / why didn't he just use his main sword to save her? There's so many questions. Anyway, he says that there's something off about her, and Rena thought, and he was like, why did Rena think you were a demigod? Then you denied it. And she's like, well, she thought you were one too, and she was wrong about that. And he's like, right. He says he's still sus about her, though. Skylar then goes on a whole rant about how he's only mean because he won't let anyone in, because he's so guarded, and how she cares what happens to him. Okay, you literally punched him in the face a few days ago, but whatever. He says that he doesn't want to talk about it, and she says, if you are nice to others, the gods will favor you. That's verbatim what she says. I wrote it down in quotes, so obviously that's right. He says that's a joke, and he says it's hard to believe in gods favor you when so many bad things have happened in your lifetime. He then apologizes to Skylar for his behavior and says that he likes to be alone, and then he heads to bed. They're awoken by Nia. Guys, I don't remember. Okay, it's been a week. All right, give me a freaking break. Then they go to save their friends and make a plan. Skylar is the distractor. The nymphs attack. Then Arthur takes on the big guy, the big kahuna. We get there, and the leader of the rattlesnakes, and he says that he has dirt on Hope and Jonathan. He's got dirt on both of them, and he knows who they really are. Guys, this never gets brought up again. He calls her Hope Beaumont. That never comes back up again. I guess maybe it was like a side plot that explains why she was touched by the gods. Or maybe why she's blind. I don't know. Then he almost reveals Jonathan's full name. And then he cuts him off. And then Jonathan says, "This is about me, isn't it?" And the leader says that he changed his hair, but he could still tell, and that there's a big reward for Jonathan DeHaven, son of the Lord. Then Arthur cuts him off and screams, "Skylar now." She runs up, holds a bow pointed at him. Then we get an Arthur POV, guys. Arthur POV. This is the only time we get another POV in the series. He whacks him on the head. Now, here's my thing about revealing their two names. First of all, we don't know who the DeHaven family is. I feel like if we knew something about the DeHaven family, like maybe they're an industrial village on the other side and Jonathan ran away. Clearly he ran away from his parents. We don't know why, and we don't know who the parents are. Like, I feel like if it was like a reveal of we know who his dad is and that family was, maybe that'd be a better reveal. Same with Hope. The Beaumont, that means nothing to us. We literally have like no clue what the weight of these names are. They go to the tree. They go back to the tree, and Raina thanks him, and Arthur is like, "Don't be so sappy." Skylar gives him a stern look, and he's like, "Oh, you're welcome." Hope notices and asks if something happened. He's like, "No, what the hell are you talking about? Nothing happened." Then he's like, "Okay, we must get going now. See, my village is having bandit trouble." Then Jonathan is like, "Dude, are you okay?" Because Jonathan wanted to obviously tell everyone that there was a bandit problem in Eros. But Arthur was very adamant about not wanting to tell anybody there was a bandit problem in Eros. Arthur does reveal that he did have like a revelation about something, but he just doesn't want to share it with the class and would rather eat a cactus. I also want to add, there was like mild shipping between Arthur and Skylar. This is when the hardcore shipping happened, because when they went to talk at the tree, it very much felt like a kissing scene was going to happen, but it was more so like hugging. It was giving when Jonathan went to the docks where he almost kissed Skylar. But honestly, I don't recall that much Jonathan and Skylar shipping. Like, it was very much mainly only Arthur and Skylar shipping. And I just think it's because, like, and everyone loves an enemies to lover story, guys. If it's easy, it's like easy. Like in my series, everyone ships Chai and Pierce. It's been like that since the beginning, which is where it was going anyways. Spoiler alert for Wanderers. Pierce was always going to be who Chai ended up with, but there was no one that shipped Chai and Corbett, because Corbett made it easy because he was just randomly in love with her, and people prefer the chase. People prefer the drama. The people love the drama, and they prefer the drama, and that's why people only ship other characters with like people they like butt heads with, if that makes sense. Cool. Anyways, episode 27, The Flirt. So they finally go to Eros, and a little girl runs up and hugs Arthur. New character alert, Opal, who is Arthur's sister. Luke walks over and shoots her off in like a nice way. He's not very mean about it. He's like, "Hey hon, the adults need to have a conversation." And she's like, "Sick, okay," and then like walks away. Like, he's nice to her. He is then like, "Wow, Arthur, you brought an entire party." Crazy, because if you remember, he only was supposed to bring Jonathan, and then Hope came along because she was going there anyways. But now there's also Skylar and Colin. So Arthur says it's not his fault the entire town showed up. And to be fair, the main characters of the entire town did show up. It's a small town. He greets Skylar and her pretty face, and then he looks at Colin and is like, oh, hello, like in a flirty way. We love a bi icon. It's not confirmed. He was definitely flirting with Colin.
Hello, I'm Luke. Stop flirting with every person you see. We are on a mission here.
Anyways, he takes them to see Lady Selena, where is she on here? Oh my god, the image is so dark because she never leaves her castle. So all the images are pitch black, because if you are in somewhere with shadows and you have shaders, it's so hard to see, and it needs to be lit up like crazy. She also goes to a party, but I'm assuming most of you aren't like here to see me. Hope is like, no, I'm here to see my mom. And Selena's like, oh yeah, your poor mom. I would look into the future, but there's something blocking my power. So Lady Selena is an oracle, so she can look into the future. Lady Selena tells Hope to show them around the village while she talks to Jonathan. So Hope is like, sick. So she takes Skylar and Colin to the inn and is like, here's your room. I'm leaving now because I have to go see my mom. Makes perfect sense. Lady Selena, why did you make her do that? Also, girl can't see. Skylar ventures around the village by herself. She goes to a potion shop and meets a girl named Lavender, who I did not print. She comes up a little bit, but not enough to the point where I was like, I want to print her out. Skylar tells her that she's from Ashen, and Lavender's like, oh my god, you're from Ashen? Is it true that Jasmine lives there? And Skylar's like, yes, it is. Jasmine is very well known around the kingdom for being a very strong magics user. And literally to the point where, like, people on the other side of the kingdom know who she is. Like, I guess she's like a major icon. She runs into Hope, who is talking to another knight from Eros. Her name's Mila. I'm pretty sure that's who she was talking to, because I wrote down she runs into Hope, who is talking to Hope. I think I mean Mila, who is one of the guards of Eros. Nothing else comes from that, but that's just an introduction of a new character I did not print out. She goes into a weapons shop and then talks to the worker. Her name's Clementine. Now guys, the freaking Staples printer whitewashed her. I am not even kidding. I'm gonna put up a photo of what she actually looks like up here. I think I took a photo, like a screen grab, that was like a little overexposed, but then I printed her out. Girl looks white. She's not white. She tells Skylar about the bandit problem that they have around town. That's about it. Skylar sees Arthur's sister, Opal, and introduces herself. Opal spills that Arthur plays tea with her and dresses up with her too. Skylar asks about her mother, and she's like, my mom is dead. Skylar says that she'll play with Opal, and then they play. Then there's like creepy music playing as it pans around the village and reveals an elf lady who is looking very suspicious. Episode 28, The Oracle of Eros. Oh, it's a new episode. You know what time it is. Arthur runs up to Skylar and Opal and is like, what are you doing? Boy, you have eyes, don't you? Like, hello? Throwback to when Zane said that. I love that. I have been saying that. I have been saying, boy, you have eyes, don't you? I've been saying that a lot. Oh yeah. He's like, I have to talk to you in private, Skylar. Then he tells Skylar to stay away from his sister. Then they argue for a bit and says that she's sensitive and that danger tends to follow Skylar wherever she goes, and he's like, I can't fully trust you yet. Which, honestly, like, valid. Danger does follow her wherever she goes. That's literally why she's in Eros, is because she couldn't be trusted to be at Ashen alone. Oh boy. She's like, okay, anyways, what do you want from me? And he's like, Lady Selena wants to talk to you. That's why I came and find you. And that's the only reason I came to find you. Not because I wanted to talk to you. Because apparently Jonathan said something about her. Skylar goes to Lady Selena and then is like complaining to Jonathan about Arthur being really overprotective about his sister, and Jonathan's just like, he's always been like that. He's just really protective of his sister. Skylar asks Jonathan what the Bandons were talking about, like, you know how they were like, I know who you are, Jonathan D. Haven, the son of the Lord of, and then he's like, Girl, that's a long story that I can't get into right now. She's like, was it the same one that you were telling me back at the rebellion meeting? And he's like, well, it's the same one, it just is more detailed. It wasn't in the meeting though. It wasn't in a meeting. It was on the balcony. Jonathan like kind of told her about his past, like how he ran away. Well, how he just like wanted to start over because he was like bored about everything in his village, if I'm remembering properly. But maybe I'm not. Who knows? I don't. She goes to talk to Selena and tells her that she knows where Albin's family is from, but the village is so secluded that if you've never been there before, you wouldn't know where it was. And Skylar's like, so there isn't a way to tell his family that he's dead, because Skylar wants to tell his family that he died because some closure. She was like, Hope's mom, though, she's been there. She actually grew up there, so she would know what it is. But, she's dying right now. Oh, she's really sick, so she can't take you to the village. Oh, no. Then Selena reveals that she thinks that a bandit poisoned Hope's mom, and that's why she's so sick, because, as I was saying, she gets sick a lot, but she's never been this sick before. But she hasn't told Hope this yet. She tells Skylar, someone she just met. She just has one of those faces that you can like really trust. Like, you know how some people just have those faces you can like immediately trust? I don't have one of those faces according to people, but I know people that do. Apparently, I'm a scary person. I don't think I am. I wear more makeup than usual. My first Minecraft diaries, that's the normal amount of makeup I wear. I just don't feel like putting any more on. She says that it's because the bandits want her, like Lady Selena. They want Lady Selena because she's an oracle, because I want to like sell her or something, but that makes no sense that she would poison one citizen that is like iconically sick all the time. Like, hello. That also like didn't leave a ransom note, like being like, if you don't come with us now, you won't get the antidote and Hope's mom's gonna die, whatever her name is, I forgot. She asks Skylar to help her with the battle with the bandits, and Skylar's like, okay, but I'm still like a rookie. Like, I literally became a knight a few days ago and got trained one time by Albin with a bow and arrow. Lady Selena says, don't worry, I'll have one of the best train you of the village. Skylar finds Colin, and he says that he's been thinking about the memory potion and that he doesn't know how to make one, but at least he has the hardest ingredient of the potion to find. Skylar's like, oh, I actually met a potion lady. Maybe you could talk to her about making the memory potion for you. They go talk to the potion lady, and Lavender says she can make it, but it'll be 125 coins because it will take forever to make it, and the ingredients for it are like even the one that Colin has, the other ones are kind of hard to come by. Colin is like, I don't have that money. And Lavender's like, that's fine. Come back when you have the money. They didn't have karma back then, okay? Whatever that, like, payment plan businesses, they didn't have payment plan businesses back then. That wasn't a thing back in medieval times and the in the mid-2010s. That wasn't a thing. Sorry, that was a bad joke. They go inside to the potion shop and run into Hope, and she says that her mom is near death and she's not going to make it. Hope asks where they're going, and Colin is like, I need a potion, but I don't have money. She tells her to go to the armor shop and asks the worker there, Clementine, if there's any work that's needed, because she's always looking for work. He leaves, and Skylar is like, Hope, can I talk to you? Episode 29, Hope's Rage. So, okay. It opens up to a conversation between Skylar and Hope, and this is a voice-acted conversation. They talk about Hope's mom. Skylar tells her what Lady Selena told her, thinks that the bandits had something to do with it, and the bandits poisoned her and made her mom ill and sick. Hope is like, why did she tell you, a random stranger, this, and not me, who has lived here forever, and also you've no relation to me and my family? Like, what the hell? So Hope is mad, and then she runs off to Lady Selena. But that's why Nikki said you gotta keep an eye on Selena, because she is sketchy as hell. I'm sorry, I've been waiting to make that joke for a while. And this is like the only time she's like sketchy and rude, so I thought it'd be okay, whatever, ignore me. And Hope goes to Lady Selena, and she was like, why didn't you tell me that my mom got poisoned by the bandits? And Lady Selena was like, well, do you see yourself right now? Like, you're really angry, and I didn't want to deal with that, 1. And 2, I could have been wrong, and if I was wrong, then you would be angry for no reason, and I just didn't want that to happen because you're a hothead. We cut back to Skylar, and Skylar's running around town, and she bumps into Jonathan. She apologizes to Jonathan, and keeps running, and then Jonathan goes after her and follows her. Skylar finds Hope, and she leaves really mad. Skylar apologizes to Lady Selena. Lady Selena was like, I couldn't break my promise to the person that I promised I wouldn't I wouldn't tell about the potion or the poison. She was like, I just couldn't break that promise. And Skylar's like, yeah, that's fine. I can respect that. Selena tells her that she has set up everything for the guard training with Arthur. Conflict. And she's like, yeah, he's like the best of the best, and he will train you like no other. And Skylar's like, Arthur agreed to this? Like you told him? She was like, no, I haven't told him yet, but I'm sure he'll say yes. Then Skylar walks off, and Selena is like, may the gods watch over her. Things are about to get a lot worse. Why don't you tell her that, Lady Selena? Skylar runs into Jonathan and apologizes for ramming into him. She explains why she ran into Jonathan, and Jonathan asks how her meeting with Lady Selena went, and she's like, oh, I'm training with Arthur, and he's like, oh, cool, got a blast, and then runs off. Hope sees Clementine, is like, hey, do you know where Hope is? Clementine says to go ask Mila. I didn't print her, don't know why, I forgot, I guess. And then she's like, oh, and Aurora contacted me, and I'm going to be making you a new dress, so stop by later so you can try it on. Skylar finds Mila and is like, do you know where Hope is? She says no, but she will go and find her, and then Mila runs off. And Skylar walks around and sees Jonathan and Arthur arguing, because if Arthur's in a scene, he's gotta be arguing with somebody. Like, that's the golden rule of this series, of course. Skylar's like, is this what you ran off to go do? Like, you just ran away to go argue with Arthur? And Jonathan's like, oh, no, that's not. And then Arthur's like, yeah, he came over because he got mad that I'm training you, which, like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. I was not informed that I was training you. Nobody told me this. I learned from him. And he said that Jonathan was asking Arthur if he could train Skylar. And then Arthur's like, you know, I'm gonna train her now, just out of spite. So, Skylar, let's go train. Jonathan then gets mad, and Arthur's like, well, why do you have such a problem with it, Jonathan? Why do you have such a problem with me training Skylar, Jonathan? And he was like, is there something you'd like to say to her or to us? Is there something you'd like to say? And he's like, no. So then Arthur walks off, and then Skylar asks Jonathan, hey, bud, what was that about? He says nothing, and then he runs off. She goes back to the inn. Then there's a cutscene of Hope running around the village, and she goes to her mom. It's dark. Her mom is sleeping. She's like, that's not Hope. I'm sorry, Mom. I know you won't like this, but I gotta go do it. And then she leaves in the dark of the night, and then it pans around the village. So basically, Hope ran in the village because she's trying to find the bandits, because she's doing exactly what Lady Selena said she was going to do, and she's going to run off and do some dumb shit, and that's exactly what Hope is doing. Episode 30, the fight over Skylar. Y'all know this is gonna be a fun episode. Fun episode. Yes, indeed it will be. So, Colin wakes up knocking on Skylar's door, and he tells Skylar that Jonathan told him to remind her that she is training today. Colin and Skylar go to Clementine's shop so that she can take her measurements for Skylar's new dress, and she does that, then goes to look for Arthur for training. She finds Jonathan and then is like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And then Arthur runs over and is like, he's trying to find you before I do. But looky here, I also found you. Let's go train now. Then him and Jonathan argue a bit, and Jonathan is like, I should do it because she's becoming a knight in my village. And then Arthur's like, well, you're in my village now, buddy, so I'm gonna train her. Then Jonathan says that he is going to tag along and just watch him train her and, like, tell him if he's doing a good or bad job or not. So now they are in a training area in the village. They get there and they begin to argue because Jonathan called the arena cute, meaning like it's rinky dinky and small. Girl, people train behind the inn in your town. You can't insult this place. At least they have an archery place. Dear God. Then Skylar is like, oh my God, can we please freaking start? I'm so annoyed and over this. So Arthur's like, okay, show me how you shoot a bow and arrow. So then she begins to shoot her bow and arrow, and Jonathan is like backseat driving this entire time. And he's just like, okay, your posture is actual trash. Like, you need to do this, this, and this. And then she's like, I don't understand. And then he goes, I'll show you. So then he, positions her body, then gets a perfect shot. And then she tries it on her own, and then she gives Arthur a big hug for helping her. Then Jonathan gets mad and leaves. Arthur's like, sure, let's try a sword now, I guess. Then it's some action shots of her hitting the dummy. And he's like, okay, let's stop. You look like a dying flamingo. Let's continue this tomorrow. You look tired. She then is like, okay, thanks for your help. He leaves, and then Skylar runs off to try and go find Jonathan. And she's like, why did you leave? And he was like, oh, I just got bored. And then Skylar's like, can I ask you something? Why were you so intent on ruining the training? Like, why did you want to do that? I just am trying to be a better guard. I don't understand. He was like, I wasn't, but I thought it'd be obvious by now. Then Luke runs over and interrupts the entire thing. Let me say this, boys. A word of advice. Most women will play dumb until you flat out say it. There was a guy I knew 100% was interested in me, but I felt like selfish and like a narcissist thinking that. And then I straight up asked him if he did. He said yes. And I was like, okay. And he was like, my bad. Luke asks if anyone has seen Hope because Hope is missing. What happened there? Then it cuts to Hope sneaking around in the forest, which, girl, you are blind. How are you going to find somebody? I guess you can like sense people, but can you tell when someone's someone without their voice? I'm confused. Anyways, then there's a shot of a bandit sneaking behind a tree in the woods. Episode 31, Friendship is a Long Road. Sure. So it picks up with all of them in Selena's castle trying to figure out what to do. Luke is like, we need to go now because it's dark and, there's bandits out there and Hope could be in real danger. Jonathan is like, no, it's too dangerous. And Selena's like, yeah, like the bandits could come and get me and stuff. What about me, guys? Like, if you're all gone, who's gonna protect me? And Luke's like, yeah, sorry, like you're so right. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Selena tells him the reason that she left is because Hope found out that she suspected that the bandits poisoned her mom. Because Luke gets mad because he also didn't know. She told Skylar, and apparently some mysterious person told her, and then kept it secret. And then he's like, I'm gonna. And then Selena's like, stop. She's like, you're gonna do nothing until I tell you. Okay? Then they all leave. Jonathan walks Skylar home, and Skylar's like, oh, you didn't need to do that. And he's like, I'm just really worried because of everything that's happened. Hope's missing. Bandits are after the lord of the village. We have Colin to protect now, too. I'm just, really concerned. And Skylar's like, oh, right, yeah, that. Then she goes in the end. So then there's a cut, and then, Hope. Okay, so then there's a cut scene, and Hope is walking around the forest, and boom, shocker, she gets taken hostage, but not by the bandits. So it was actually some fire lady with powers, okay, and that's who did it. Skylar goes back to Selena in the morning, and she says that she's going to start to get in contact with the Rosen clan, which is a bandit group. By she, I mean Selena said that, is a bandit group, because there's so many bandit groups around here, but they're on really good terms with this Rosen group, and they want to kind of ask about Hope, and if they know if she's at the Rattlesnakes bandit camp or whatever. She tells Luke to go, and then sends Jonathan and Mila to go look for Hope in the woods. She says she's specifically sending Luke because Persephone, the leader of the Rosen clan, has a thing for Luke. But of course, she's the only person that Luke doesn't have a thing for. he leaves to go get Persephone. Arthur returns, and they tell him that Hope is missing, and it's the rattlesnakes. But they're, like, not sure about that yet, but they presume it's the rattlesnakes because that's who she went looking for. Valid conclusion. Arthur is like, are you sure? She's like, of course I am. Okay, I'm right about everything. Girl, you said your oracle powers weren't working? Shut the hell up, okay? Then Lady Selena is like, you can just keep training Skylar. We've got it all under control. Like, girl, send everybody. It's the morning. You are safer now. Skylar and Arthur bicker because, of course, Arthur always has to bicker with somebody. He says that he will always be better than her no matter what. And she was like, well, I gave you a black eye and I can give you another one. And he was like, well, you know, you took me off guard because I was not gonna punch you in the face. Skylar says that she has some theories on this statue of the guy that they saw in the cave a few episodes back. Like, so off topic. Like, unbelievably off topic, she brings that up. Then his face darkens, like, he's being suspicious as hell. And Skylar says she thinks it's the supreme leader of monkeys, alright? And he's like, what? And then he's like, oh, you have it all wrong. It was the super secret organization of super darks, and that you're actually the new leader of it. So, you're in this secret thing. I don't know. They're arguing. They're, like, jokingly arguing about it. I don't know. She said that the statue just reminds her of the statue that she found of her mom back in Ashen. Then she decides to tell him that she's a demigod, and he's like, pshoo. I don't need to know more information about you than I already know, because I don't care. He's like, we aren't friends. And she's like, dude, what the hell? Like, why are you being so cold? Like, I thought we were friends. I thought we were on good terms. Like, literally, we were having fun yesterday. Like, you're like, what's going on? I don't get you. And he's like, good. And then walks away. And she's like, don't ever speak to me again. We'll see how that goes. They split ways. And then Arthur goes into the village and passes Clementine. And she's like, She goes in the woods and asks what all the yelling is about, because, oh, I forgot. Did I mention they're in the woods training? They're in the woods training. My bad. This was after they were done training. Oopsies. Skylar tells her Arthur is being a bag of turds, and she says that she's known Arthur for a really long time, and he's always been like a sensitive little bitch boy. They head to the shop, and Arthur is on a hill looking down at them, walking, and he just shakes his head, because he lives on a hill. I didn't mention that because, like, that information wasn't important till right now. I'm never gonna bring up again. Yeah, whatever, okay. Episode 32, the Rosen Clan. Ooh. So it opens up with Skylar in her new outfit, fit change, which is super slay. I literally have no clue how to describe it. The only thing I can think of is if you've seen my role play, my Minecraft Wanderers, it's like almost the same exact outfit that Alma has. Cool? We cool? Cool. Anyways, so Knight, who is also a knight, who is Clementine's husband, is like, hey, Skylar, you need to come with me. The leader of the Rosen clan wants to speak to you. So they walk into the castle because they're in the castle. Guys, the new meeting room in this village is the castle lobby. There's gotta be a room, and it's there. She walks in, and Luke is like, he's like, oh my god, look at you. You're like, oh my god. And then Arthur elbows him because, like, dude, watch it. Persephone's here. The Rosen clan leader, she questions Skylar a bit, and then Skylar's like, what's going on? This isn't about me. Let's get back to the topic at hand, okay? Selena tells her what is going on. Persephone's like, she's like, oh my god, Lukey, is that true? Did your sister really go missing? And he was like, yep. If only someone that was generous, beautiful, and wonderful would, like, help me find her. I'd forever be in their debt, and I'd owe them something. And she's like, say no more. Say no more. What do you need me to do? Selena is like, what, really? And Persephone is like, yeah, I'm not breaking any of the rules that I have set because I'm like I'm just helping you with something. I'm not preventing anything. Because basically, the rattlesnakes and the Rosen clan have, like, this agreement. So basically what Persephone's saying, that doesn't involve Lady Selena getting kidnapped and, like, go against the rules that they have set in place with their, what the hell was it called? In their contract? I don't know. The Rosen clan essentially is the Switzerland of this world, besides also being a bandit camp. Basically, she's just trying to remain neutral, but she's willing to help someone out. She says that she will send some of her people to look at the rattlesnakes to see if hope is there, because that, that's the reason they need it. Skylar goes to find Colin because she has nothing else to do with her day until Jonathan gets back, because Jonathan and Mila are out looking for hope. She finds him in Clementine's shop, the sword shop, and he's just cleaning a furnace or whatever. I don't know. He's doing something with a furnace. And Skylar's like, so how's it going? How you like the job? And he's like, it's a living. Flintstones. Sorry. He reaches into the furnace and without gloves, and his hands don't get burned. And Skylar freaks out, and she's like, oh my god, how are you doing that? How are your hands not hurt? Like what's going on? And then she's like, oh my god, you're the son of Celsia. Oh my god. Then he grabs his head. He's like, whoa, and then he stumbles back and then falls on the ground in pain. Me too, man. Sometimes I get a headache when my mom's also brought up in a conversation. She takes him to the inn, and Lavender is there and gives him a healing potion so he won't wake up in pain, because apparently flashbacks can cause pain. So then Skylar connects the dots more and is like, oh, okay, so she is his mom. Because, she said it at first as a theory, and now it's confirmed because he's getting a flashback. She walks out of the inn, which is literally so many staircases. It's an insane amount of staircases. I don't think I've ever paid attention to how crazy it is to get out of there, but it's one block hallway, and it's just a million staircases, and I don't know why there are so many, because they are not that high up off the ground. Made me dizzy watching it. Arthur is standing out there and is like, I'm not here to see you. What happened to Colin? She's like, well, go ask Lavender. She's the one taking care of them. I'm not talking to you. And she walks off, but then he grabs her shoulder, and he's super visibly angry, because that's what the text box says. He's visibly angry. I don't know why he doesn't go in there and ask Lavender what happened. He's being a little bitch boy. I think that's what's happening, obviously. But Skylar is like, let me go. And he's like, not until you tell me what's going on. Then she's like, you said you wanted nothing to do with me. And then he gets more angry and is like, no, tell me what happened. This has nothing to do with you. This is all about business, and I'm going to talk to you about business. And so tell me what happened. And he then tightens his grip. Girl, let her go. Let her go. We do not grab women here, okay? Unless you're grabbing their hand and you're like, wait, babe. You don't grab people, okay? We ain't doing that. She yells at him, and then he is pushed back by a giant vine of plants. Just plants. A giant vine. A giant vine, okay? I don't know what I'm saying. Then Skylar runs off. Then there is a clip of Opal, I'm guessing, seeing everything that happened, and then she runs off to go to talk to Skylar. And then they talk, and then Skylar's like, I feel funny, and then she passes out. Oh my god, guys, we're almost there. Ah! These episodes are going by a lot quicker, I feel. No, it's an hour. I've been recording for an hour and a half. They're not. So we cut to Skylar in Arthur's house, and he tells her that she passed out because she used so much energy using her powers. Then she's like, you know that I have powers? Skylar, be so for real right now. He says that he's known for a while, and he says that he figured out because her and Colin have the same magical aura, and he just didn't know who her parents were until that entire thing happened. But Skylar's aura is actually concealed right now, so what are you talking about? Okay, what are you talking about? Arthur, alright, what's going on? Then he full names her mother, and then Skylar, she's freaking out. She's like, don't you dare say her name. Oh my god, she's gonna sense where I am. And he's like, girl, calm the frick down. And then she's like, what? And he's like, this house has like magics on it, so I can like say whatever god's name I want and they won't be able to sense it. To gods, this like house doesn't exist because his mom put like magic on it for protection or whatever. Skylar then lectures him and is like, just because you have a dark, mysterious past doesn't mean you could be mean to people. Like, come on. That is not an excuse to be mean to people. Yeah, I know. She's like, okay, if you know, then why are you so mean to people? Then he's like, I don't know. It's just how I feel. I can't help it. When people get close, I just push them back. She's like, why? And he just shrugs his shoulders. It's like, Skylar, if he knew, I think he wouldn't be, I don't know. I feel like if he knew, he'd be like trying to resolve it, but then also I know people that know their issues and they don't like resolving their issues, so what do I know? She's like, fine, but I'm not giving up on you no matter how much you push me back. You both literally said that you never wanted to talk to each other again earlier that day. Or no, not earlier that day. Was it earlier that day? Yeah, earlier that day. Like, what? They got a crazy relationship out here. It's actually kind of bonkers. He smiles for a bit and is like, thanks. She was like, everyone deserves to have friends that care about them, which, to each their own, whatever. Jonathan and Mila run back in town, and then it cuts back to Skylar and Arthur, and he explains everything that happened to her. And then she thanks him for helping out even when I was a jerk. She was like, even when I was a jerk. Girl, I don't, like, all of this is Arthur's fault. Like, he's the one being so rude to you. I think you have a right to be rude back. If he's gonna say you're not friends, you can be mad at that because you thought you were friends. Like, hello? And he said, that's what friends are for. And Skylar's like, I thought we weren't friends. And then he said, I never said we weren't friends. Yes, you did! Earlier that day! Yes, you did! What are you talking about? Arthur leaves and Skylar also leaves like a few seconds after him. She goes to check in on Colin and then runs into Jonathan, and he says he hasn't had any luck finding Hope. I'm like down here. Jonathan's right here. She explains everything that happened with Colin. Then she goes on to explain why she passed out, and then they both go to check in on Colin. And Jonathan had some attitude with that whole conversation, by the way. Boy's got some attitude, all right? Arthur is there for some reason. Colin says that he doesn't remember much after Skylar said his name. He just got a flashback of a bunch of blurry faces looking down at him, and then he heard someone say the House Room Library. He says that he does remember one of the faces though, and it was Arthur's. He said he recognized Arthur's face in one of those blurry faces. Plot twist. Arthur's like, dude, I've never met you in my life before, Ashen. And he's like, I don't know, man. That's what I saw. I saw your face with all the other blurry faces. Skylar asks Lavender if she knows what is happening. And she says, like, dude, I have no freaking clue what's happening. Arthur starts to get mad and defensive. And everyone's looking at him all suspicious because, boy, you are being very suspicious. I mean, this guy, like you're in his dreams and not in a good way. He's fantasizing about you in a terrible way right now, okay? But Luke walks in and tells everyone to calm down, and then Lady Celine called a meeting again. So guess where they head off to? That's right, the lobby of the castle. Hey guys, this is unscripted, so if I'm everywhere, we are where we are. First of all, ignore all of this. Ignore it. I just got over being sick. For the second time. I've been sick. I don't know why. I don't leave my house. This is my room. It's quite dirty at the moment. So what we're gonna do is ignore it. And you're probably asking, why are you sitting at your desk instead of your bed? That's a great question. So I was looking for more screenshots. So I was going back, looking at the catalog on her library, and y'all aren't gonna believe what I freaking found, okay? You're not gonna believe what I found. So, I saw a video that said world tour of Eros, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. So I was watching the video and I was like, wow, sick. That's crazy. We get to see all parts of the map. And then I thought, oh, this would be really cool to show you guys because there's no, because a lot of you haven't watched this, so a lot of you don't know what the world looks like. But a lot of you guys have seen Minecraft Diaries, so I was like, I don't need to show off the world. I don't need screenshots. Y'all know what it looks like. Now, I discovered I can download the map. So I can download this map, and I can show you guys myself. I can add that little twisty on it of fangirling. And so when she did this, she said, none of this is canon, guys. And she did make all of the characters like say things, which I thought was really cute. She like goes up to Jonathan and she's like, hey Jonathan, and he's like, hey Skylar, and then he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm just showing the people around. And he's like, the what people? And she's like, okay, bye. And then she just goes around talking to the villagers, but none of it's canon.
Okay guys, and welcome to Arrows. Oh my god, I don't have Optifine on. It's so weird not to have Optifine. Anyways, welcome to Arrows. Now this map is called the Dark Forest Medieval City, and it was created by Bill 0203. It's 0, but I always say O. I'm weird like that. I'm so quirky. Temulin as well. So let's start off with our little tour. So this is the entrance to Arrows. If you're wondering what this thing over here is, just ignore it. I went down the path and it was literally an end portal over there, but like I couldn't open the end portal, so it was kind of useless. But let's start off. So let's go through this bridge, and our first stop is going to be this lamppost. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, why is a lamppost our first stop? Well, this is where Jonathan hangs out. This is like his NPC post area. If I ever say Skylar runs into Jonathan, it is at this post, okay? It is always at this post. And oh my god, my mouse sensitivity is so high. Now, let's start. She does not go into any of the blacksmiths. Let's start over here by the inn. She doesn't really use these stalls. I think the first time she's here, she uses them, but it's like kind of whatever. So, the first building we are introduced to when we come to Arrows the first time, in like episode, I wanna say 13. Oh, it's episode 10. Episode 10 and 11, because that is when they are looking for Mooney. So the lore with this building is it is the first place she stays. This is not the inn. That is the inn. But when she's first in the village, she said she does not know where the inn was. So in episode 10 and 11, this is the inn. So the way she does it is she is like, yawn, yawn, yawn. Oh my gosh, what a day. And then she just leaves, doesn't look behind her because it's not an inn, there's nothing behind her. And that's the lore of this building. I'm trying to do this fast. And then this right here is the inn. I've labeled them just in case I forgot. So let's go in. Okay, sorry. We only see this once. Yeah, this is the lobby. So we're gonna go upstairs, and you know how I talk about how the stairs are just awful? This is not the stairs I'm talking about. These god awful stairs, and she has them on the top floor. So this right here is, okay. This is Colin's room, and this is Skylar's room. Blah, blah. Sorry, my cat is being weird. Okay, let's go down these nauseating stairs. Oh my god. And continue our tour. So, the next place we're gonna go to is Lavender's shop, which is this building right here. In here, Lavender's shop, Lav shop. In the video, it doesn't have the carpet, but yeah, this is Lavender's shop. And then, let's see. Yeah, we do not go into this building. I'm like 99% sure. Nothing is in this building. So yeah, nothing happens in this building. I labeled it NA. So this building right here is Hope's house. There's only one bedroom, and it is Hope's mom's bedroom. So this is her bedroom up here. This is where she spends the the entire series. So lovely, so wonderful. And if I can get down this damn ladder. Okay. This building right here is Clementine's shop / home. Little tour of it. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Oh my god. I feel like the sensitivity on this is crazy. Okay. Next stop. We don't go into there. What else should I do next? Oh, yeah. I should do Arthur's house, which is this windmill right here. Like I said, it's at the top of a hill. And it's a 2-story house. Yeah, she like made it 2-story. just adding that. Now you're probably wondering to yourselves, but probably also not, where is this wonderful arena that Jonathan and Arthur fight about? Well, my friends, it is right here. Let me build it for you. Let's see. Let's get some fences. I'll build this thing. It's not gonna be good. It's gonna be actually nauseating. Why is this so... I don't know. Anyways, I think I actually made it bigger than it is, but this is the beautiful, beautiful training grounds. Alright, and our last but not least stop is going to be the one, the only, the castle lobby. So let's enter this bad boy right here. This bad boy right here. Oh, lagging it up. This is the lobby. My voice is cracked. And then over here is just a random room that she doesn't go into. This right here is Lady Selena's daughter's kind of like... She likes it here. This is where she likes to stay, which we have not met her daughter yet. That is way later. And then we got these secret staircases, which leads up here. And it leads to one room. So you're probably saying to yourself, this is where Lady Selena lives. No, no, no. Skylar says this is where Jonathan probably lives because he isn't staying at the inn. And I just thought that was really funny and information I should share. And yeah, that is Eros. And I hope you enjoyed this little itty bitty tour. And I forgot to say, but the reason I put this tour right here is because after episode 33, she was like, hey guys, sorry I didn't have time to put out the next episode. So I'm going to give you a tour of Eros. Yeah, okay, bye.
So, episode 34, Arthur's Secret. The meeting starts and Lady Selena is like, sorry guys, I feel like we're here every day, my bad. And then Arthur's like, we are here every day. Skylar then elbows him, even though I don't think what he said was rude. He's just stating a fact. Jonathan then gentle parents the both of them into acting like adults and not children. Mila tells everyone that she doesn't think the bandits have hope because they haven't contacted them and asked them for anything like a ransom, which makes perfect sense. Persephone sent some of her people to check in on the rattlesnakes. Lady Selena says she is going to send out 2 more teams of people. The groups are going to be Jonathan and Skylar, and Luke and Knight. Arthur and Mila are going to be staying behind. Jonathan says that something doesn't feel right about this entire thing. And then Skylar is like, don't say that in a creepy forest. And he's like, you're right, let's talk about something else. But he goes, how is the training going? And Skylar tells him that she's been learning a lot and that Arthur is actually a really good teacher, but also says that she's been losing fights to training dummies and almost stabbed him, and she wasn't even near him with a sword. Jonathan is like, oh well, maybe he probably deserved it, lol. And Skylar is like, hey, nuh-uh, he's trying, like, leave him alone. Jonathan is confused because he didn't know that Skylar and Arthur made up, because they made up almost immediately after they said they were never talking to each other again. The most kind of toxic relationship. Okay, sorry. She's like, why don't you like him? You guys just butt heads a lot. And then he's like, you also butt heads with him a lot. And she's like, well, I butt heads with everybody. You never do. Jonathan says that he doesn't like him because something has always seemed off and his whole life revolves around secrecy. Maybe Jonathan has a good read on people. I have a terrible read on people, but maybe Jonathan's onto something. Skylar said that Clementine said he started acting different when his mom died, and Jonathan's like, dude, even his mother's death is a mystery. Then we get a flashback of Jonathan explaining what happened. He says that one day, we don't have a voice actor for Jonathan yet. He says that one day he was home alone with his mother. Then she just dropped dead, and no one knows why, not even Lady Selena. Only he was the only one there, and he refuses to tell anyone anything. Skylar's like, are you implying that he murdered his own mother? Jonathan is like, I don't know, but he was the only one there, and who could have? And Skylar's like, he would never do that. He's the best person ever, and he wouldn't even hurt a fly. Like, what are you even talking about? We don't fight all the time. He's not a hothead. Like, what are you even talking about? Obviously, she didn't say like that last bit, but she does defend him and say he would never do that. Okay. Jonathan says that he's known him way longer than Skylar, and he's full of secrets, and he says he doesn't want her to get hurt. And she's like, well, I think I can decide who I will and won't be friends with, and I know what you're trying to do. Thanks for warning me, but I trust him. Flashback to every time that he's been a dick to her. No, there's not flashbacks, but my mind went through a flashback of every single time he was rude and mean to her. We get a shot of the fire lady and Hope still in the same spot. She's like, well, I can't access your memories. Get to Eros. Guess that's my fault for kidnapping a blind girl. And it's like, dude, just ask her for directions to the place. Like, she's gotta know how to get back, right? Say you're gonna murder somebody or murder her. I don't know. You can get her to take you there. Skylar and Jonathan stumble across a strange white tree. Guys, this is my favorite part of the episodes. You'll see why. It's like a little special inside, you know, like when there's like those there's a series, but then there's like a TV special, like a special event or whatever, I don't know. Amazing special, like an amazing Minecraft Once Upon a Time special. It's like some of my favorite episodes. They stumble across that tree, and then Jonathan's like, I do not remember this tree being here yesterday. Skylar then falls into the hole because there's a hole around the white magical tree. Jonathan tries to grab her and misses, so he jumps down there with her. Luke and the Knight finally find Hope. By the way, the fire lady left. Like, she wasn't there, but she said she's just gonna like follow them back to the village, which makes the most sense, I guess. So we get a cute drawing of Jonathan and Skylar falling. It like reminded me of like a Fran Bow like clip when Fran Bow's like falling. Like, you know how Fran Bow has like those clips? It reminded me of that, and I thought it was really cute. Anyways, now we're in a magical place. Some fairy lady flies up to them and is like, follow me, my lady seeks an audience with you. Then it cuts to Fire Lady standing in front of the entrance of Eros. Episode 35, Trouble in Paradise. Then we get to the Queen's Cave. She says, welcome to paradise, and is like, let me show you around. So she shows them around, and we get like this cute title card that says the Paradise Dimension. While she's showing them around, Jonathan sees a skull on the ground, and then obviously he freaks out. And now we have a voice actor for Jonathan. Everyone is like, oh my god, Jonathan's voice is so cute. It is so cute. Side note, so his voice actor does have a YouTube channel. I did research on all of the people that did the voice acting because I was just really curious. The girl voice actors, she only had their Twitters linked. Those accounts don't exist anymore, and then some of them aren't even credited. Jonathan's voice actor does have a YouTube channel. He uploaded something actually 3 months ago. From the time of recording this, I have no clue like what the most recent video was. I watched it and I think it was like a fan edit I don't know. But he was popular a few years back for voiceovers of manga strips. Skylar goes up to the queen lady and is like, hey, so like we need to leave. And then she's like, hold on, I'll be right back. Then Skylar's like, why, Ayata? And then Jonathan is like, Skylar, wait. You got us into a crazy situation and we need to figure out how to get out. She's like, I got us in this situation. And he's like, well, I wasn't the one that fell into the hole first. And then they argue for a bit about that. He was like, I told you not to go near that tree. And you did. And she's like, okay, whatever. That's besides the point. We need to get out of here. Let's not play the blame game, Jonathan. Jonathan says that they need to go with the flow of things. Very out of character for Jonathan. That man needs a plan for everything. I haven't mentioned it, but he's very much like a we need a plan person. Then the lady comes back and is like, okay, let's continue our tour. Cuts to Eros and Arthur is pacing back and forth in front of the castle. Mila walks over and is like, it looks like you need a P bat or something. And Mila has a voice actor too. I think it's voice acted by one of the girls that already voice acted another character. He's like, well, it's none of your business. And she's like, it's been 2 hours, man. And he's like, they should have been back by now. And Mila is like, they are capable of taking care of themselves, Arthur. Arthur's like, well, I've been training Skylar and I actually don't think she's like gonna be okay alone with Jonathan. She has magic powers. She doesn't just have like bow. She doesn't just use a bow and arrow and sword. She has magic powers. Can she use them very well? No. Are they really freaking powerful? Yes. Okay. So Mila is like, well, she's with Jonathan, who is a trained guard, and so she'll be okay. And then he talks about how he just can't trust him because he was never formally trained. Like Jonathan was never a formally trained guard. He learned his own way. Okay. He can go to school. Then he goes on a rant how people keep telling him what he should and shouldn't do, and is like, excuse me for caring about someone that treats me like a person. Honestly, that was like the most confusing rant in existence ever that he went on. Like, I was so confused the entire time. I rewatched it like 2 times and it still didn't make sense to me. I think Arthur's voice actor is probably the best voice actor. I looked at Arthur's voice actor's channel because Arthur's voice actor also had a channel linked. She now does like covers of songs and posts clips of acting. Wonderful voice, beautiful singer. She was like MIA for a bit, and then she came back and posted like 4 videos in the same week. She gets a decent amount of views. If you look back at like her older stuff, she has a lot of like manga reading as well, and those videos had a lot of views on them, and they were also really good. Anyways, she's thriving. Let's continue. Back to the Wonderland. Skylar, she finishes the tour and then takes them to dinner. Skylar says that she's been avoiding all of their questions the entire time they've been on the tour. Jonathan calms her down, and then they eat the food that this lady has provided. Never accept food from strangers, guys. Jonathan asks her again why they're there, and she's like, because you are special. And Skylar's like, okay, but we need to leave to find our friends. And she's like, don't think about the outside world. It's full of flaws, unlike this place. Here you are safe. Here you are in paradise. Guys, we've met a cult leader. She says the answers to the question will be answered soon, and this some cult-like behavior. We've met a cult, all right? I know a cult when I've seen a cult, and this is a cult for sure. Skylar says that she's not going to eat anything until she gets answers. Jonathan eats the food almost immediately, and he has some sort of reaction to the food and forgets all of the questions he had about this wonderland that they were in, this paradise dimension that they're in. Then she asks Skylar if she has any questions, and she was like, I don't have any questions. Why would I have any? I'm in paradise. And the queen is like, here you are safe. Here you will stay forever. Then she tells them to head to bed. It cuts back to Eros, and the fire lady starts walking around and goes up to Lavender and asks about her brother. She's like, oh, you're Colin's sister? That's awesome. I don't know where he is at the moment. You're going to have to ask Our Lady and Oracle Serena. Why did you say Oracle? Why are you telling random people she's an Oracle? She's already in danger from the bandits. Like, what's going on here? Lavender also has a voice actress. Her Twitter is still active. No, it's not active. She still has a Twitter. It has 16 followers. That's it. There's no posts or anything on there. The fire lady heads to the castle. Then it cuts back to Skylar and Jonathan, and some lady throws a potion on them and screams for them to follow her. She explains that the queen is evil and put a spell on them, and it was in the food. Her name is Crystal. She says that she's helping them because she was just like them once. She fell into a hole and was also hypnotized. She says that the queen needs people because their life force is what runs the dimension. She says that the only way to get out is to take her staff and use it to open the portal. They just need to take it, bring it back to her, meaning Crystal, so they can leave. And Jonathan's like, okay, we need a better plan than that. That is the least planned out plan ever. And Skylar's like, oh, what happened to going with the flow, Jonathan? So it cuts back to Selena and Arthur, and Selena tells Arthur that she wants him to go with them back to Ashen when they return back to Ashen, which they never do. Selena says that she believes Skylar is the demigod talked about on the prophecy and that he needs to protect her because she's the only hope in the world. He asks why him, and she's like, I don't know, trust my gut, I'm an oracle. But like, Selena, your powers aren't working right now. Fire Lady walks in the castle and is like, what prophecy? And Mila is like, sorry dude, you can't come in here. And Arthur is like, stay away from her, she's dangerous. Mila is like, how do you know this woman, Arthur? And she's like, oh, we're great buddies. And then he's like, no, we are not. We are not buddies and we are not friends. She's like, okay, boo, whatever. Where's my brother? And Arthur's like, you are not getting your brother back. And she's like, 2 against 1? That's not fair. I thought your father taught you better than this. And then he's like, that man is not my father. Guys, what's going on here? What's going on? What's going on? Ah! And she's like, well, he is your father, and your father knows about Skylar, and he knows that wherever you are, she was gonna be. So I can take her to the Dark One and the portal can be opened. Then he's like, boy, I swear to the gods if you hurt her. And she's like, what, you gonna kill the Dark One? He's like, your father knows about your sister, and he also knows what he has to sacrifice to get the Dark One out. So I would suggest you come with us and join us, just like your brother did. Jonathan, what, he is a brother? Then they fight. They end up fighting. It cuts back to Jonathan and Skylar, and they're like, where the heck is the queen? And then she flies down, and he's like, I'm right here, and I know what you want, my staff, right? And Skylar's like, what are you talking about? And the queen is like, I'm not stupid. I know what she told you. She wants you to take my staff and make a portal, and it's not that simple. Jonathan is like, I think those instructions work pretty well for me. I don't know about you. She then talks about how people have tried to fight her in the past, and Skylar keeps calling her crazy, and the queen snaps, and then they begin to fight. She flies in the air, and Skylar's like, oh my god, she can fly. And then Skylar shoots her with a bow. She immediately falls to the ground. They take her staff to that girl Crystal, and they run. That was so easy. There was literally like no bloodshed. Skylar shot her 2 times. Down she went. Shot her right in the wings. Back at Arrows, they're still fighting. Mila is knocked out, and the fire lady knocks Arthur to the ground. And she walks over to Selena, and he's like, I'm not finished with you yet. And she's like, bro, give up. And he's like, I'm not finished yet. Then he summons skeletons. He summons some skeletons. Oh my god. She's like, all right, I know when I've lost. So then she leaves, but before she does, she says, be careful with my brother. He'll burn down this entire village. You don't know the person he used to be. And yeah, then she leaves. So we go back to Skylar and Jonathan and Crystal. They get out and then run back to the castle. Arthur is on the verge of tears, and he's like, Skylar, are you okay? And she's like, dude, you are not gonna believe what just happened to me and Jonathan. So she notices that Arthur is injured and is like, wait, what happened here? What happened when I was gone? And Selena's like, no time, we need to find Colin right now. Then it cuts to Colin holding a ball of fire. End of episode. So I wanted to read the comments for this because it's like 30 minutes. It's the only 30-minute episode. Literally, I'm telling you, it's like a special. Like the past 2 episodes were like specials. Like everyone loved these episodes. I can't. In these episodes, The reason I consider them specials as well is because it has the most voice acting out of the entire series. Like, there's still voice acting in the series after this, but like almost this entire episode was voice acted. Like, this was a mini movie. Oh my god. Like, you know how in My Story Animated, like a while ago when they did their mini movies, they'd have multiple voice actors, but normally their episodes were just one person voice acting everything? That's what this was. And this is the first episode there is no POV as well. That's also why I consider it a special, is because there's no POV. Someone said Arthur would be a very good yandere, and I'm sitting here like, I hate to say that I can see it. For those who don't know what a yandere is, let me explain it. A yandere is someone that'll do anything at any cost to be with their crush, basically. Like, literally do anything. Like, would kill people to be with their crush. So, yeah. Anyways, conclusion, Arthur's voice actor, I think, is my favorite. She just, like, I don't know. She had a great voice. Anyways, so Colin's sister also is named Ember. I have it written up here as Ember, but, like, I did not know her name for the longest time, and the only reason I know her name is because I read the channel description when looking at the voice actor credits. No one ever mentions her name up to this point. Her name is mentioned later, but this is the first time. This is how I learned her name. The description of the video. Oh my god, guys, we got eight more episodes. Oh my god. Episode 36, The Boy Made of Fire. So Colin walks out of the inn and everyone is surrounding him. Side note, Lavender would know where he was because he literally was in the inn and she was treating him earlier. So I don't know why she said you're gonna have to ask Lady Selena, because she would know. Anyways, he shows them that he can use fire. They ask Colin if he knows what just happened, and he's like, no. They tell him that he is a psycho sister, and Arthur says that he could actually be evil. Selena tells Skylar to help Colin use his magic, and then tells Arthur to train the both of them while her and Jonathan plan on how to get rid of the bandits. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Because, like, Arthur's the second in command and whatever. Hope, Luke, and Knight return. Hope gives Skylar a hug. Hope tells him that she went to look for the bandits and then was kidnapped by a psychopath that was made of fire. Arthur says that's Ember, and Selena's like, you know her? Selena, you were there when she said she knows him. Pay attention. Selena starts to press him about his powers he used back at the castle, and he's saying that he doesn't want to talk about it, and she's like, as your lady, I demand you to tell me about what I saw earlier and about Ember. And he flat out tells her no and runs away with a funny face on the screen. This is the second time they've used, like, the different face thing. Luke takes Hope home, and Selena tells Jonathan to talk to Arthur, and she says that she needs to talk to Skylar. I have no clue where Crystal went. Selena then tells Skylar to talk to Colin about his powers and that she's going to attend to some business. They go somewhere. I don't know. Why are you asking me? It's not like I'm in charge of explaining this series. Colin is like, I can't believe I'm related to Crazy. That's bonkers. Skylar gives him a hot girl pep talk. Everyone always deserves a hot girl pep talk. When do they not? Then he keeps spiraling because he's like, what if I used to be evil? Like, what if I get my memories back and I remember that I was evil and then I become evil again? I don't want to become evil like my sister. And if I was evil, I don't want to go back to being evil. After that whole, like, crash out, Skylar then explains to him how magic works. Skylar explains how she knows so much about her powers because when she was kept away in her room, her mom realized that her powers were controlled by her emotions, so they had to work on keeping her powers in check, but also, like, she notoriously doesn't know how her magic works. I don't know. Asks her, like, oh wait, being locked in a room? What do you mean by that? And she's like, oh yeah, my mom locked me in a tower because she was convinced someone was out to get me. And then she tells him that she was able to break the barrier spell and then run away and ended up in Ashen. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes you have to have adult conversations with kids, okay? If I knew that my daughter was getting hunted by a psychopath, and Skylar is a teenager, like, she's, I think, canon 19 in the series is what I think. I don't know. I think she's old enough for you to tell her, hey, you're locked in this tower and it's cloaked because, you know, there's someone after you, so that's why you're here, and I don't want you to leave because I don't want you to be in danger. But also, can't, like, Abilene, her mom, just, like, cloak where she lives? Why did it have to be in a separate tower? Like, that makes no sense. They practice with Colin's powers, and then he burns Skylar by accident, and then he runs away. Lady Selena appears out of absolutely nowhere, and she's like, it's my fault. We started his magic training too soon. And then Selena spills the beans about the magic that Arthur used when Ember was here. Oh. She then tells Skylar to find him because their friendship is good and stuff, and maybe she can talk to him about it. Episode 37, Betrayed Trust. Ooh. Skylar is wandering around looking for Arthur, and she finds him at his mom's grave. She talks to him about what Selena said about, you know, using his magic on Ember. He then turns the tables on her and is like, well, you got a bounty on your head. And she's like, we've been known this. And he's like, no, the one with your mom, not the one with, like, the guy that's after you. I know about the bounty your mom has out for you. Apparently, he talked to one of the mom's workers and was like, you were lucky I said nothing. Like, I could have said something to this girl, and I didn't say a single thing. He said, you being out in the open is a danger to everyone, and it's safer if you go back to where you came from. She's like, why are you acting this way with me? What about Colin? And he's like, I'm not Colin's friend. And she's like, no, there is something else. What are you hiding? You aren't telling us something. I can see it. She's like, I know what you are. But the vampire, no. Then Jonathan appears and is like, what is going on here? Then Skylar is like, nothing, I'm leaving. So Skylar leaves and Jonathan is like, what did you do to her? And he's like, why do you assume I'm always doing something wrong, you over-glorified moldy donut? The over-glorified moldy donut thing is a quote. I did not make that up. And also, Arthur, maybe it's because every time you're with somebody, you start a damn argument. That's what I thought. So Jonathan is like, boy, I'm gonna ignore that because I don't know what that was about. Arthur's like, why are you so threatened by me? Like, why do you hate me so much? Why are you so threatened by me? Like, what did I do? And then Jonathan's like, no, I'm not. And then Arthur's like, well, you sure act like it. Jonathan is like, I'm leaving because I'm gonna go make sure my friend is okay. Then he catches up with Skylar and is like, what happened? And she's like, nothing, we were just talking. And then Jonathan's like, that did not sound like a conversation with two friends that two friends were having. And she's like, yeah, it's because we're not friends. Okay, Skylar tells Jonathan that Arthur knows that her mother is looking for her and how he is pressuring her to go back home to her mom. Jonathan starts freaking out because he's afraid that Arthur is gonna snitch on her. Skylar says that she can trust him, but there's a part of her that doesn't because, you know, she's really angry. Skylar tells Jonathan that she's going to go on a walk and to try and clear her head. Skylar says that she should be able to trust him, but he's holding something important back. She runs into Hope, and Skylar tells her that they will find an antidote. Lavender gave her mom a potion to slow down the poison, but she's still dying. Skylar goes to talk to Lady Selena because she wants to start focusing on Hope's problem instead of her problems. I'm just listing out so many things she's doing right now. She tells Skylar that Colin is back and Mila is angry because everyone left her on the floor. Because if you remember back when Ember was there and they were fighting, Mila got knocked out and no one was there to help her up. So, you know, I would be really pissed off about that too, Mila. But sorry, you are not a main character. You are a C character at best, okay? She goes to talk to Colin, ignoring completely why she went there, which was to talk about Hope. Colin apologizes and said that he feels like a villain now. Skylar says nothing is evil unless you make it evil. Then she gives him more hot girl pep talk. We love hot girl pep talks. And then he agrees to get trained again. Then they go and train, and Skylar doesn't talk to Selena about Hope at all. Then there's a pan over shot of the village, and it goes to Arthur walking sad around the village, looking sus as hell, and he goes to a elf and snitches on her. He's snitching on her. episode 38, found out Skylar wakes up and goes to talk to Colin. She tells Colin that Lady Selena got Jasmine to come to Ashen to train Colin and magic properly. Skylar goes to the castle to talk to Lady Selena, and Lady Selena has an adopted daughter. This shit maze. Selena is like, yeah, I adopted her when her village burned down, and then she goes into detail about that traumatizing night for that little girl and talks about how her dad died right in front of her. Why are you telling people this? Why are you telling people your family business? Hello? What is going on? Skylar asks her when Jasmine is coming because everyone's really excited for her to come here. Colin runs in saying that Arthur is looking for her and is really concerned. He says that he doesn't know why, but Arthur is just freaking out. Colin was like, all I know is that she's not at the inn right now. Arthur runs in with the, elf lady. Her name is Taylor. Such a strange name for an elf, but alright. She demands that Skylar follows her back home. Skylar starts to yell at Arthur. Taylor cuts her off and explains the entire backstory of Skylar to all of these people. She says that they need to go home because it's too dangerous. Which, okay, guys, I do agree with Taylor. I hate to say it. I agree with Taylor and her mom. Skylar putting the entire realm at risk just because she doesn't want to be locked up in a tower anymore. I don't think she should be locked in a tower. But also, girl, you are putting the entire world at risk. Obviously, I don't want Skylar to be locked at home, but obviously I don't want the entire world to end based on, her existing. I don't know. So, Skylar is like, I guess I have no other choice, and leaves with Taylor, and then everyone starts to yell at Arthur. They go in the woods, and her and Taylor argue a bit. She tells Skylar that she is not taking her to the tower, and she's actually taking her to her mother's realm, because none of the Dark One knows of that place. Which, I don't know why she couldn't live in the realm in the first place. Whatever. Taylor says that she doesn't trust Arthur because his aura has something darkness radiating about him, and she says that she thinks he actually might be a demigod. Y'all, call back to when that nymph leader said that they were all demigods. What? Taylor is like, but if he's a demigod, why is the Dark One not going after him? They're interrupted by hearing a rattlesnake bandit. He's talking to himself like he doesn't see them. And then he's like, I can't believe Sage hasn't died yet, which is the mom's name. And now I know the mom's name because I found it in the script. Taylor says that she can't go back to tell people that everyone was right and that Lady Selena was right and that the rattlesnakes were the one that poisoned Hope's mom. And then Skylar goes on a pedestal about how she's the only one that can save Hope's mom. And then Taylor's like, oh my god, fine. So this side story is called The Bet, Minecraft Once Upon a Time, a side story. See, in the last one I talked about how it said Once Upon a Summer, and this says Once Upon a Time. Now, they are in different playlists, so I think they are different genres of side story. I don't know. So we're just gonna go with that. So it opens up and a shot of a yacht. Who has daddy's money? I'm assuming it's Jonathan because his dad gets full named as Lord DeHaven, Jonathan DeHaven, and apparently that's a big name. So I'm guessing it's Jonathan's money. Anyways, so there is a new texture pack. Dandelion, that's the name of the texture pack. She's using the Dandelion texture pack. It starts off with Skylar, Jonathan, Hope, Aurora, and Arthur, and they're on the bow of the ship. That's right, I know boat talk. I definitely didn't Google that when I was writing this down. No, sorry, I didn't. Anyways, let's move on. She says that they're coming from Ashen, so, like I was saying, unlike the first one, they mention, the actual Minecraft Once Upon a Time, whereas the other one didn't even mention Ashen. She's like, oh my god, we all just need to decompress. We have to go to the beach, guys. We all just need to decompress. So, same universe. So the captain says that he can't take them any closer to the shore, so they're all going to have to jump off the boat and swim to shore. Skylar and Arthur argue about who is going to swim to the shore, and because of course they do. Jonathan says that the captain is saying that if they don't leave the boat soon, he's going to go back to the mainlands and they're not going to be able to go on vacation. So Skylar decides, okay, I'll jump in the water. So Skylar jumps in the water and makes it to the beach safe and sound. Then they all jump into the water, led by Arthur, and then they all make it to the beach. Hope is mad about the entire thing, and then she brings up the fact that they have luggage. How are you swimming in that water with luggage? The concept of that is so funny. It reminds me of that iCarly episode where they have to jump off of the plane with their luggage, like they throw their luggage out of the plane. I think it's a little different because that luggage is falling and you don't have to carry it and swim. Same premise. Anyways, so Skylar says that they should take the luggage to their room and she's going to check in. How do they know where their room is? They don't have their number yet, but whatever. But it's not even rooms. They're like little huts. So maybe they like booked a specific hut. I don't know. I don't know the logic of this. Okay. I'm just telling you how it is. Skylar goes to talk. This is really funny. Skylar goes to talk to the hotel clerk and she's like, hello, welcome to the famous Pearl Beach hotel, where we have hosted many famous people like Afmao. Oh, hello, Afmao Cannon. Minecraft Once Upon a Time. She did write in the comments though, if I see anyone saying I copied Afmao, I will be deleting the comments, because apparently in one of Afmao's side stories, she also used the same exact map, but like you don't own a map unless you built it, and I don't know if she built it or not, or if it's just some random map. What do I know? I actually never watched the side stories. So yeah, and the clerk is like, yeah, we hosted Afmao, but then like this whole like dinner disaster happened, but the dining room is renovated now, but you know, she's not allowed back anymore, her and her friends. So I was like, what is this talking about? Because there's no way she made that up. Like, that's got to be referring to something. So I did research, aka I Googled it. I just typed it into Google and it immediately popped up with what I was looking for. So apparently it's referring to a side series episode called The Date Prank. And basically what the incident is Zane blew up the restaurant with TNT because Garth accidentally hit him in the face with a pie, and then they ended up in beach jail. And that is the summary from that. So yeah, anyways, this is making me want to literally cover side stories, so I think after Void Paradox I will be doing side stories because that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's continue. Skylar grabs the keys from the hotel after she, like, you know, talks to the lady, and they go meet up at the hut thing, and then she sees a giant sign that says Sandcastle Contest, and she's like, oh my god, we have to do this, guys. And of course Arthur is like, no, that's for children, like, you're so stupid and dumb, Skylar. And Skylar's like, no, we're gonna do it for the fun, we're gonna do it for the whimsy. Okay, we're gonna do it. And then Jonathan is like, come on, Arthur, let's do it. I heard there's like an amazing, awesome prize. So Arthur's like, fine, okay, I'll do it. And then they head to the location of where the sandcastle competition is. So Aurora, Hope are on a team, and then Skylar, and they ask Skylar if she wants to join, and Skylar's like, no thanks, I'm gonna do this by myself, I'm gonna win this by myself. And so Arthur and Jonathan are on a team. Hello, they hate each other. What on earth? I don't know. Anyways, so, and by the way, Arthur doesn't seem like a team player. Okay, okay, anyways. So the bet, this episode's called The Bet. The bet Arthur makes, he's like, okay, if me and Jonathan win, then you're buying us all dinner. And if you win, you get to dunk us in the water. And Skylar's like, oh my god, that's amazing. Of course I will join in on this bet. I will eat you guys up. So then they go into doing the sandcastle. A non-existent horn honks. I don't know if that's the sound a horn makes. It's buzzer. A buzzer goes off. Either way, the noise doesn't exist, so I don't know why I'm trying to explain it to you guys. Whatever. So Skylar grabs a bunch of sands and builds this wonderful thing, wherever it's on the screen, that wonderful thing. And so she's looking at the other sand castles, okay? And there's one that sticks out. It is a sand block, and it says Mooney's Castle on it. What? And she turns around, and guess who's sitting at the judge's table? Oh my god, it's Natalie. And Natalie's like, oh my god, hi. And Skylar's like, oh my god, this is so unfair. Whose castle is that? And then apparently Natalie's not the judge, Mooney's the judge. So Mooney whispers to Natalie what the winning castle is, and it's Mooney's castle, because of course it is. We learn the builders, the creators of that castle, are Jonathan and Arthur, because they knew who the judge was. Nobody knew who the judge was. And Arthur's like, all right, I'm ready for that prize now, and I'm ready for that delicious dinner. And Jonathan's like, okay, I lied, there actually is no prize. And Arthur's like, oh my god, I just wasted all my money bribing this judge over here, meaning Mooney. He's like, I spent all my money bribing this judge to win a contest that there's no prize in. She's like, okay, I'm gonna buy you dinner, and I'm doing a good deed because now this is community service because you're broke now. And that's the end of that episode. Thank you for your time and putting up with my glasses. Enjoy the rest of the video. Episode 39, Arthur's sister. They go back to Eros, and everyone is now in the castle. Skylar tells them what she heard. Then there is an argument between Hope and Taylor. Then there's an argument between Arthur and everyone else. Luke says that Persephone is the only one that knows where the base is, so they need her help to find the base. Taylor asks Hope to take her to her mom because she says she might be able to help her since she has healing magics. While they are all walking somewhere not specified, Jonathan stops her and is like, we need to talk about Arthur. Skylar is like, please don't say I told you so. Jonathan is like, I'm glad we were able to figure out the snake he was before something terrible happened. Jonathan calls him a shady dude, and Skylar defends him and is like, he was just doing what he thought was right. Then Jonathan was like, I don't even see how you can forgive him. I just don't see it. Opal runs over and is like, can you play with me? Skylar then agrees, and Jonathan is like, dude, why are you talking to his sister? Skylar then gets mad at Jonathan because he's blaming a child for Arthur's actions. And he's like, I'm not blaming a child. I just was thinking, like, you shouldn't hang out with her because she's Arthur's sister. And then she's like, whatever. We go to Ember, who is walking in the woods and runs into the rattlesnake bandits, and she says that she wants to speak to their leader, and then they leave. So it goes to Skylar and Opal playing a tea party by the inn. Opal starts to talk about her mom and how she wishes that she could play with her again. And Skylar tells her that she kind of grew up without parents too. Opal is like, you should marry my brother so we can play all the time. Skylar, she is a Scarther. That's what their ship is called. Scarther shipper. Yep. Skylar freaks out and is like, we are getting ahead of ourselves, and is like, dude, we will never get married. Opal is like, but he's really nice. Are you dating Jonathan? Like, is he why you won't date my brother? Opal then asks Skylar again to date her brother, and then she's like, okay, we'll see, or whatever. And Opal is like, sick, cool, okay. And Skylar is like, I need to get somewhere because that was a loaded conversation. So Skylar then talks about how she wants to vomit after that conversation because it was really gross. Skylar walks around and is like, I don't know if I can ever forgive him. She also begins to talk about if Arthur's a demigod, then Opal must also be a demigod too, which is a pretty good conclusion. Then there's a loud scream, and Skylar runs over and, oh no, Opal's gone. This will be our last intermission. Round of applause, thank you. So, I need to explain this because the order of this is very, very important. The order of intermissions that I recorded. So, the first intermission I recorded was the intermission about Minecraft Once Upon a Summer, and then there was Minecraft Once Upon a Time side story. That was the first intermission I recorded. I recorded those two together. The second intermission I recorded was the one where I talked about Storm Chasers, and the second Minecraft Once Upon a Time trailer. Okay, this is very important. So this is the last one, hopefully, and the third one that I am recording. So there's 4 in total. Okay, you will see why this is oh so important later. Okay, so this is episode 2 of Minecraft Once Upon a Time Side Stories. Dinner date. I don't know, why did I say it like that? Girl, you're 23. Shut up. Okay, so it starts off with our main girl Skylar. Of course. Why would it not? Sorry. I am so energetic right now because I'm like on the rush of a discovery that no one gives a shit about. So Skylar wakes up and she leaves her hotel hut, whatever thing, and she runs into Arthur. We all love to wake up to an Arthur in the morning. We love it. We love to wake up to a not morning or night person, a non-existent terrible person. Chef's kiss. Anyways, so Arthur tells her that Selena called him and said that a storm had hit Ashen, so they weren't able to get on their boat. So Skylar's like, oh, okay, so when are they getting here now? Because they were originally supposed to arrive in the morning. And he was like, oh, I don't even know if they'll make it. And she was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, that storm that hit them is supposed to hit us. And she was like, what? Huh? And he was like, I don't know, I'm not a meteorologist. Go talk to the front desk lady. She's the one that told me about this. Okay. So, yeah, he says, I'm going to go back to sleep now that no one is here and wake up when they get here. So he goes to bed. I forgot to mention they argued because why would they not argue? Hello. Do you know who we're talking about? So, yeah. She decides, okay, I'm going to go talk to the front desk lady. So she goes to talk to the front desk lady. And her name is Rhea. And she has the same Minecraft skin as Rhea from Storm Chasers. What? Storm Chasers. Context. These 2 series were made 2 years apart. So Storm Chasers was made in 10 years ago. And this episode, this side story, was made 8 years ago. There's a 2-year time span between this. Her discography up at this point was a lot. Like, it was pretty big. Okay, so I'd say most people didn't even know that one episode existed because honestly it kind of just blended in. I don't even know how I noticed it was a roleplay. I do not think it said roleplay in the name at all. I think the name of it is what stuck out, the way it was written. I was like, I know a Minecraft roleplay title when I see one. Sorry. Anyways, moving on. So Skylar is like, hey, front desk lady, I wanted to ask you about the storm. When is the boat from Ashen getting here? Because I know there's a storm, and when is it coming? My friends are on it. And she was like, oh, it'll be here by this afternoon. And she's like, oh, okay, that's cool, because my friend told me that you told him that there was a storm that was going to hit this island and it was going to be worse. And she was like, oh, well, the weatherman says there's not going to be a storm that's going to hit us and that's going to pass us right by. But between you and me, I'm a meteorologist, and me and my team think that the storm is going to hit. It's the same Rhea, guys. I don't know how many people got this reference because I didn't feel like looking in the comments of that video. Should I? Yes. But crazy crossover. That means there's 2 Skylars. I need them to meet. There are 2 Skylars canon in this universe. Okay, that's what I was really riled up about. Now I'm gonna go back to being kind of looking at a screen because I was just like so passionate. Anyways, so Skylar leaves and she was like, okay, clearly Arthur was lying to me, because if the weatherman says the storm's not gonna hit, surely the storm is not gonna hit. And that she must have been paid off by Arthur or something. But guys, Arthur doesn't have any money. He spent it all trying to bribe Natalie and Mooney. Anyways, so yeah, she thinks that he told her this and gave her money to lie. So then she decides, I'm gonna go to the restaurant and make a reservation. So then she heads to the restaurant to make a reservation for the dinner show spectacular. That reminds me of like the put up here what I'm trying to think of. Oh my god, why am I blanking? She makes the reservation, and then everyone's making pearl puns, by the way. I completely forgot to mention it. Like, the clerk lady said prolific day. Okay. Skylar goes and hangs out at the beach, and she takes a nap. She's awoken by Arthur, and he's like, girl, you really slept in because all of our friends are here now. And she's like, OMG, all our friends are here now? That's great. And then she was like, hey, I didn't appreciate the prank you said earlier. And he was like, what prank? And she was like, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go say hi to everybody. So she goes to say hi to everybody. And the people that have arrived are Luke, Lacey, Jasmine, Colin, Rose, and Selena. The first person she goes to talk to is Luke, and he flirts, which, like, he's marketed as the, like, heartthrob, like, you know, the flirt. But, oh my god, does this man flirt like there's no tomorrow. He's flirting like his life depends on it. Like someone has a gun to the back of his head and is like, flirt with Skylar, go. So here are some quotes. Here's some quotes I dragged. Not some. These are all of them. So he says, he's like, you look beautiful, like always. And then he says, thinking of you got me through that terrible storm. And then he says, I would fight any storm, move any mountain for you. Then she's like, are you okay? You were acting so unbelievably weird, dude. Go unpack your stuff before dinner. And he's like, dinner? Skylar, I've always wanted to have dinner with you. I'm so excited. And she was like, sorry, my guy. It's with everyone. She then goes to talk to Rose, and she's like, yay, cool plants. She talks to Jasmine, and Jasmine says that she has a strange feeling about tonight. Okay. She talks to Colin, and he says that the boat ride was calming, which is honestly shocking because, like, he didn't even, like, rain. And then Selena is too busy moving luggage to care. Okay, so Skylar and everyone go to the dining room, and Hope talks about her day, and then she says Luke begged her to let him sit next to Skylar, and Hope was like, boy, if you don't leave her alone, I'm gonna punch you in the face. So he's not sitting next to her at the dining table, but Jonathan's sitting next to Skylar. I got my head turned around. So then Arthur's like, wow, you had a much more productive day than Skylar. She fried like a potato on the beach. And then they argue about who is more pale. And then Luke is like, Arthur, don't you dare insult this fair maiden over here. Don't you dare do that. Don't you dare do that. And then Jonathan's like, guys, the waiter is trying to say something. So then the waiter is like, hey guys, so something bad happened in the kitchen. Dinner's gonna be a few hours. And they're like, a few hours? What do you mean a few hours? Then there's like a huge explosion in the kitchen. And then someone screams, Mooney. And I forgot to mention that for some reason, it's never explained. Mooney is a raccoon, has like a raccoon model. I don't know if she just couldn't get the goat model in there, but it's literally never explained. It's like referenced in the first episode because, you know, he was the judge, and I just forgot to mention he was a raccoon. There's no explanation. But anyways, that is the end of the side story series. Honestly, I'm really interested in where it was going. Like, huge tropical storm crossover episode? No, it wouldn't have been a crossover. I just was thinking of the Seth MacFarlane universe when they all got hit by that hurricane. Episode 40, Finding Opal. Skylar starts freaking out, as any rational person would do, as a child just got kidnapped under her watch. Skylar turns around and Arthur is standing there. Skylar is like, hey, so your sister's gone. Arthur is like, huh? Skylar explains what happened, and he's like, I need to find her. And Skylar asks to help, and he's like, no, you've already messed up things in my life enough. I don't need you to help me at all. Then he storms off. Skylar follows him and is like, dude, this is all my fault. Let me come with you. I really just want to help. Like, please, please, please. He's like, fine. So off to the woods they go. They find a book on the ground, and it says if you want your sister back, you're gonna have to hand over the demigods, which makes no sense. Wouldn't that book be left where they kidnapped the sister? Like, why would it be left in the woods? Like, that's assuming that the bandits would know where they were going to. I don't know. I am confusion. I'm confused. Arthur starts to get angry, and there's a dark aura coming from around him. Skylar lectures him on how he needs to control his emotions, and he's like, says the girl who blasted me with vines when she got angry at me, and it's like, valid, Arthur. That's so valid, but it's like, do as I say, not what I do, sort of situation. Then he admits his father is the god of death. He's like, all right, you got me. My father's a god of death. That's how I was able to raise some skeletons from the ground, and that's why I can have a sword magically appear out of nowhere. Caught me in 4K, I guess. Arthur says that he needs to go to Selena to tell her what happened and that Opal is gone. They show up. They show her the letter, and she's like, I need to get the gang together and figure out what to do. She finds Jonathan, and he tries to apologize for what he said about Opal. Skylar is like, no time, and she explains to him what happened, and he heads to the castle. Skylar grabs Luke from his dying mother and goes to the castle. Hope asks if she's okay, and Skylar explains what has happened. Hope is like, well, it's not your fault. The rattlesnakes were going to grab her whether or not you were there. Hope is pointing out some good points. Good for you, Hope. Good for you. They talk about Hope's mom for a bit and Skylar's childhood. Taylor chimes in and is like, the reason your mother never talked to you about your father is because she was afraid you would leave to find him. Skylar asks her who her father is, and Taylor's like, that is something you need to talk to your mother about. Girl, why would you even bring that up? Like, what? Hello? Why would you bring that up? Episode 41, Old Friends. Skylar complains about all of the secrets in her life. Skylar's like, I need to figure out how to run away after Hope's mom is saved, because I know the moment she's saved, Taylor is going to take me home. Skylar meets a new girl named Naomi, and Skylar is like, how do I know you? Apparently this girl is from Ashen, and she says that she's filling in for Jasmine because Jasmine has the flu. She says that she's been studying the gods for a while now, and she will be able to help them. I don't know why she makes Jasmine have the flu. We never figure out because there's 3 more episodes after this. Colin runs over and Skylar introduces her. Then Jonathan runs over and is like, Naomi, what are you doing here? She explains, and Jonathan says that Selena told him to get everyone to go to the meeting to find Opal and, their favorite place, the castle lobby. Then Naomi is like, I'm lost. What's happening? And Skylar's like, you know what? Come with me and you can learn what's happening. Selena talks about the plan and how the Rosen clan is on their way and it might take a bit. Arthur is like, we can't wait. We need to figure out now. Taylor is like, I agree. Then Hope is like, I'm sure you two would agree. And they bicker a bit back and forth because Hope is implying that she wants to take Taylor wants to take Skylar away, and then like Arthur siding with her because he also wants Skylar gone, is what she's implying if you didn't pick up what she was putting down. Arthur then says that he thinks that Ember is probably the reason that the rattlesnakes want them, which, like, Ember is a demigod, so they just need Skylar. Like, why is she willing to sacrifice her brother? Ooh, that is really evil. Willing to sacrifice your brother. Anyways, Persephone appears and they explain to her what happened. I thought it was going to take her a bit to get there. A bit, I guess, means 2 minutes. Persephone says that she will help them because it's a life or death situation and also the end of the world. But that would end the agreement between the 2 clans and they will go back to being at war. Peace treaty. Oh my god, that's what it was called. Sorry, I couldn't remember. I don't know if you guys remember when I kept saying contract. Peace treaty. That's what I meant. I didn't even write it down here. I just remembered from the noggin, believe it or not. Jonathan says, why don't they just end the Rattlesnake clan forever and kill the leader. And then everyone's like, that's actually a really good idea. And then they disband. Everyone agrees. Persephone full names him, which means nothing because no one knows who he is and is confused. By him, I mean Jonathan D. Haven. Like, that means nothing to us at this point in time. Selena tells Naomi, Taylor, Colin, and Skylar to go train while they plan the rest, and Persephone goes to talk to her people. We cut back to Opal, and she's being held hostage at a campfire. I would assume she would be at their headquarters, unless a small campfire is their headquarters, which I highly doubt it is. But whatever. Ember walks off with an evil laugh. Episode 42, Forgiveness. Skylar, Naomi, Taylor, and Colin go into the woods to train, but Taylor stops. Taylor apologizes for what she said about her father and was like, I shouldn't have said that because now I know you're in a bad mood and you're probably mad at me because I won't tell you. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. He was really nice for a human. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to elaborate on. He was just really nice for a human. Skylar asks if her mom will ever let her back in the world, and Taylor's like, well, I mean, if the Dark One is gone, then sure, the prophecy says that someone will be able to stop him from rising. Then Skylar is like, what prophecy are you talking about? Taylor's like, oh, you're gonna have to talk to your mom about that. Taylor, fucking stop. Taylor, stop. Taylor, what are you doing? Taylor, stop. Naomi asks Colin to show her what he can do. Then he shows her a little fireball. Then she explains to him how fire works and how he needs to be in control of his emotions because fire bad. Arthur runs over and is like, we need to talk, Skylar, and then she's like, okay. They go somewhere in private while Taylor is like super sus about the entire thing because she doesn't trust him, which valid. At this point I wouldn't either. Like, if I were her, I'd be like, wow, you really snitched at your friend. That's kind of crazy. Like, I know it helped me, but that's also like kind of wild. You snitched at your friend, low-key. You know me, I love an enemies to lovers, but they are just so mean to each other. Like, it's not enemies to lovers, it's absolute hatred to friends, to even more hatred to friends, to acquaintances, like, it's freaking everywhere. Whatever. Anyways, Arthur apologizes and admits that he was being a jerk and is like, you are the only person who has ever tried to be my friend, so I'm asking you for forgiveness. Boy, I swear to God, it's hard to admit. And he was like, it's hard to admit I'm wrong, but here I am. Skylar's like, what even prompted this? He says that Hope told her what she told Skylar, meaning that, like, she was gonna get kidnapped anyway and it's not really Skylar's fault. Like, this was their plan, and Skylar just so happened to be the one watching her. Like, they were gonna get her anyways. And then he told Selena that, and Selena said that you should go and apologize, and then she explained to him why what he did was wrong. Why does, sometimes women have to explain to men what they did was wrong, and then that's when they realize that they did something wrong. Boy, just realize you did something wrong. Why do you need someone to explain it to you? Emotionally stunted ass man. Well, Skylar hugs him and says thank you, but it's going to be a bit before I trust you. Jonathan sees this from a distance and runs away. If I were Jonathan, I would also kind of be really pissed off. I'm on Jonathan's side for this. I think this whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. Because she got mad at him for being like, you shouldn't hang out with her because they're related. But she's like forgiving him all the damn time. Crazy. She says that she's kind of glad Taylor is there because she's learning more about her mom. Skylar says that she needs to go back, and Arthur is all coyish and I'm like, hey, so you want to like train with me instead? You want to go off and train with me instead? And Skylar's like, yeah, sure, okay, I can do that. And she was like, I know magics well enough, I should probably brush up on my sword skills. They train, and Taylor walks over and is like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm training my sword skills. And Arthur is like, and she's a knight. Taylor's like, LOL. What, did you hit your head or something? You're not a knight. You don't need those skills. We're going back home and you have magic. Arthur then starts spitting bars about how she's wrong and how she needs to know how to fight because their little sanctuary could be taken over and they could like get their magics taken away or something. Taylor is like, whatever, I'm out of here. We need to talk about this later. 43, Jonathan's enemy. Oh my god, we're almost there. Skylar and Arthur are still training, and he says that she has... Sorry, I just remembered where this is going. So, Skylar and Arthur are training, and he says she has jelly arms. Then she punches his arm, and he's like, calm down, little kid. And she's like, what? We're the same age. Then he picks her up, and she's like, put me down. And he's like, look at you. You're just a little kid. Look, I can pick you up. Oh, you're so little. So I can't stand when men do that. Oh my god. I hate when this happens. This has happened to me multiple times, and it pisses me off. It's not my fault I'm short. And it's not my fault I look young for my age, okay? Stop it right now. Anyways, sorry, I just get really mad when people treat me like a child, and I relate to Skylar right now. Even though I think at this point she was like 18 writing this. 18 or 17. She was still in high school. Or probably 18, because she graduated around this time. Anyways, so Jonathan passes by again and sees what's happening, and he's like, what's going on here? And Arthur is like, we're just having some fun. It's what friends do. Jonathan is like, what the hell is happening now? Like, how can you be friends right now? Like, what is happening? How do you forgive each other so easily? I just don't get it. Skylar is like, what do you expect me to? Not talk to him for the rest of my life? And he's like, well, once we leave here, you won't ever see him again. So, kinda. And then he's like, oh, actually, I am coming with you guys to Ashen when you do leave. And he's like, nuh-uh. And he's like, uh-huh. Lady Selena told me to, so I'm going to come because it's a part of the prophecy. And they're like, what prophecy? And Arthur is like, okay, let's just call it a truce. I don't know what I did to you, Jonathan, but we need to find my sister. And then he leaves and goes back to the castle. Boy, why are you being so civil now? What is happening? What is going on right now? The whole interaction was actually insane. Sometimes characters go back and forth a little fast for me, which can be really annoying. But, like, Arthur does it the most. He's a walking red flag. If my friend was hanging out with a guy like this, I would be doing what Jonathan's doing as well. Like, if I had a friend that had, like, I have done it. I have been like, hey, this is really toxic, you gotta stop. Awful to see friends do that. So I like 100% understand where Jonathan's coming from, but unfortunately Skylar has to realize it for herself because that's just how things work. It's just like kind of crazy how being an adult can completely change my perspective on these characters. Like as a kid, I do think I chipped Skylar and Arthur. Like as a kid, I also shipped people in Minecraft Diaries. I didn't see anything as a walking red flag because I was like so young, but now that I'm like 23, I see, you know, I've lived a life. I can see people I have life experience. I can spot red flags. It's kind of crazy. Like honestly, if you guys aren't in your 20s yet and you're viewing these relationships as like, oh my god, so cute, when you get older you'll realize that they're not that cute. Anyways, sorry, I just ruined everything for everyone. Anyways, so Skylar is like, what's wrong with you? You never act like this. And he's like, you don't know everything about me. And she's like, what's that supposed to mean? And then he's like, nothing. And she's like, well, whatever you mean, you need to respect my decision. And he's like, you just can't trust him, Skylar. And she's like, you don't think I know that? I told him I forgave him, but I don't trust him. How can you be friends with someone you don't trust? I'm sorry, what? Maybe I'm just really picky with my friends. I don't know. But if I don't trust someone, I don't think I can trust them to be my friend. Like, what? Okay, what? Anyways, Skylar is like, I don't need anyone telling me what to do because I mean, obviously Skylar has authoritative figure issues and doesn't like to be told what to do because of her mom being locked away in a tower for 19 years. Then she says that he's acting like Arthur, which is crazy since she's pro Arthur. But then when someone else is acting like Arthur, then it's a red flag. And she's like, I can have more friends than just you. I'm gonna leave so you can sort yourself out before any more of this conversation continues. Okay. She walks off and goes to talk to Hope, and she tells her Jonathan is acting really weird. She explains what happened, and Hope was like, that is so weird. Like, oh my god, that's so strange. But I would think that she would side with Jonathan on this one, because isn't, like, she mad at Arthur for turning Skylar in? I don't know. Everyone forgives this man too much. I don't know what's going on. Skylar is like, maybe it's because he thought we were good friends, and then when we left, I started hanging out with Arthur more, and he thinks that it's getting in the way of our friendship. And Hope is like, yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. Yeah. And Skylar's like, are you being sarcastic right now? And she's like, I'm gonna just let you figure this one out on your own. Hope is like, Arthur must care about you a lot because he treats you the way he treats Opal. He treats you like his little sister. Perfect. Does he yell at his little sister? Because boy, oh boy, if that's how he treats his little sister, I wouldn't want to be his little sister. That's all I'm saying. But I don't understand why Hope is like defending Arthur. I mean, maybe she's not defending him. She's like kind of explaining his actions, but also like, what's going on? Okay. Luke walks over and is like, I bring news. He's telling everyone that they kind of like have everyone rallied up and they have like a plan on how to attack the bandit camp. He says that Skylar is a part of the stealth group and that they're leaving tomorrow and that Skylar needs to go sleep. Episode 44, the fight begins. The comments for this episode are shut off because I can't imagine how annoying they were when she stopped uploading. Because I know she literally made videos about how people were like really rude to her. Like, they were rude to her in the sense of like, why aren't you uploading that fast? So I can't imagine how toxic that comment section was. Anyways, let's continue. So Skylar is sleeping and the camera passes around a dark, mysterious cave covered in glowstone. Skylar is in the cave and is talking to herself, but in like her old outfit, like in the one up here. Like, she has a new outfit, right? Well, this is the old Skylar. This is like her consciousness. This is like her subconscious. And they have like a sass off. Like, they're so sassy to each other because Skylar is such a sassy character. She's just so sassy at all times. She says that she's like her inner Skylar, so like her Jiminy Cricket, essentially. She's her conscious, but like in a bad way. She's like, if Jiminy Cricket was evil, that's who she would be. She's evil Jiminy Cricket. The inner her, let's just call her Jiminy Cricket because it's gonna get confused. I'll call her Jiminy. So Jiminy is like, you are not a hero, you are not a part of this prophecy. Frankly, you are a narcissist for thinking you are a part of the prophecy. Like, what the hell? Why would you think that? You're so dumb and you're so stupid. And she's like roasting her, and Jiminy's like, just go home. Like, you are not wanted, you are not loved, everyone hates you. Like, why are you here? And it's like, oh my god, Jiminy, what are you doing? Jiminy, what are you doing? Then Jiminy starts roasting her about Arthur and is like, his father was banished from the gods, father like son. She continues to roast herself. She's like, and Jiminy's like, you are the reason that Albin's dead. You are the reason that Opal is taken. You're the reason the world is going to end. How can you be the chosen one when you can't even save yourself? Stop. This is getting too real. Oh my god. Jiminy's like, admit it, you're a failure. You will never amount to anything. Anything in this life, just go home. Like, go home and cry, girl. Go home and cry. Then Jiminy disappears and she wakes up in a cold sweat. Crazy introduction to an episode. Absolutely insane. Absolutely bonkers. Hope walks in and is like, everyone is meeting at the bridge soon. Hope is like, you okay? I sense something is wrong with you, Skylar, because remember, she can sense people's facial expressions, of course. Skylar's like, nah, and Hope's like, chill, let's get out of here. So Hope leaves, then Skylar leaves and goes to the bridge where a bunch of people are. Arthur walks over and Luke is like, so y'all on good terms, Skylar? Good terms? Skylar isn't gonna rip you apart? Arthur is like, now she wants to destroy Jonathan, and she's like, no. And he's like, you always have someone that you need to destroy. And then she's like, oh, then I'm gonna destroy you then. Because she's mad at Jonathan for looking out for her, realizing how toxic Arthur is. And she's mad that he's acting like him. Makes no sense, man. Selena walks over and gives a huge hot girl pep talk to everybody and explains the entire plan. Hope, Skylar, and Knight are on one team. Then all of the Rosen clan is on some other team. I don't know. Then all of Jonathan and Arthur are together, leading the front. Luke, Colin, and Mila are leading the distraction. And then off they go to the rattlesnake camp. They meet at the meeting place they're supposed to in the woods, doing as they're told. She talks to Hope, and then they turn around, and then Hope is gone. She fell down a hole because she's blind, and I guess she couldn't see where the hole was. Just kidding, I don't know. But there wasn't. She didn't make a sound or anything. She just kind of disappeared. So then Skylar's like, oh my god, I have to go save Hope. So she jumps down the hole, and then Knight is just like, oh my god, are you kidding me right now? Then he jumps into the hole, and it's the end of the episode, and it's the end of the series. Man, oh man, did I forget how much I liked this series. And man, oh man, I forgot how sad I was when it ended, because it was like, it was just getting real good. They were about to have another Alice in Wonderland episode, and oh my god, that episode special was my favorite. Oh my god, what if I did an episode special? That'd be so much fun. That'd be so much fun. Too bad I don't feel like hiring voice actors because I'm broke as hell. Yeah. Again, I suggest you go and watch it. I know you just listened to me yap for dear God knows how long. For me, it's been 8 hours of content. I think I've done 6 hours today, and then over 6 hours today, and then I did an hour 30 the other day. So it's been a while, okay? It's really heartbreaking she stopped. It's I understand though. I'm not gonna rip on her for being busy. Lord knows I stop all the damn time because I get busy, because I do think personal life should be priority over a YouTube channel. I think if you have work or literally anything else going on and it's just for fun, I'm doing this for fun. I make these long videos for fun. I get nothing out of it besides the joy of yapping and talking to people about my special interest that I've had for years and have had no one to talk to and no one to relate to about it. And I hope that you enjoyed Minecraft Once Upon a Time and that you've been exposed to a new Minecraft roleplay, because I know nobody that knows Minecraft Once Upon a Time. She still posted other roleplays after this roleplay ended. There's one called Moon Quest. I probably have watched half of it. I don't think I've ever watched the full thing through before she canceled it. I could do that. I know I didn't like it as much. She also had a high school roleplay that I never watched because I was never into high school roleplays, because I was like, I'm in school, why do I want to watch a video about school? And I also had that mentality for TV too. I never really liked watching things that were involved people being in school as the main plot point. But honestly, I would watch it and make a video on it. She also had other role plays that I could also talk about. I just really loved her channel. She was such a inspiration to me. Her and Afmao were a big reason I loved Minecraft role plays so much. I did watch other people, It's Funny. I watched her a lot, but and I'd watch one-off series every now and then from other people, but these two series were it for me. These were the series that inspired me to create a Minecraft roleplay when I was really little, get into writing. I like writing a lot. I think it's really fun. I think it'd be really funny if she just randomly came back. Jazzicalness, if you're watching this, I love you. You're probably not watching this. You probably don't even think about Minecraft Once Upon a Time anymore. But if you're watching this, I love you, and you formed a part of my childhood. and I just think it'd be really funny if you came back and made one more video. I just think that'd be so funny. I don't know. She did still post role plays after the last episode 44 of Once Upon a Time. She was still posting her high school Minecraft roleplay and a different one called Moon Quest. I could cover those. I actually have never seen the high school one, as I just don't watch role plays about modern life unless it was It's Funny. I loved It's Funny as a kid. I'm definitely going to talk about her at some point. Yeah, I could do a video on those. I'd have to rewatch it. Tell me down below your thoughts on Minecraft Once Upon a Time. Did you know about Minecraft Once Upon a Time when it came out? Do you like it now? Are you going to go watch it by yourself? Highly recommend you go watch it by yourself. Support her channel. She doesn't post. She literally, in one of her videos, I think I said this in the beginning of the last video, she said like she won't do anything on the channel anymore. However, she keeps up the channel because she knows it was a big part of people's childhoods, and a lot of people are really close to Minecraft Once Upon a Time and her other role plays, and I think there's just something so amazing about that. If I personally were gonna just like stop doing this for this channel and Chai Noodles, that channel, I would leave Chai Noodles up. Would I leave this channel up? I'm a little unsure, simply because if I delete it, it would most likely just because, like, I don't know, it would interfere with my professional life, which I'm talking about kids Minecraft, like, I'm talking about Minecraft roleplays on here. I don't know how that would hinder me as a job, but you never know. That would be the only reason I would take down this channel, because I know a lot of people just like listening to people. Yeah. Anyways, I think one of the most interesting videos she posted was an update video right after the last Minecraft Once Upon a Time video. It was like a new scheduling upload, and oh my god, she was gonna upload like 4 times a week, 2 on the same day. Like, that's kind of insane to me. Couldn't be me though. Stay safe. Couldn't be me. And then after that, she just never posted Once Upon a Time again. Anyways, so like Minecraft Diaries Season 3, I don't have the mostest opinions on this plot line, on this story, because the story just never finished. So it's like I don't know where anything was going. I can have my predictions, but I don't. My one thing, as I've said throughout this entire series, is my hatred for Arthur. I do not like this character. He is so toxic. I don't know why Skylar keeps forgiving him. I don't know why she wrote him to be such an ass. I think at the point where, I don't know. I just think he's so unbelievably toxic, and I don't know if, like, going back as an adult, she would realize that, if she thinks about it anymore. Just, like, getting really angry, fighting, immediately making up, becoming, like, best friends again, getting mad at Jonathan for acting exactly the same, pointing out that he's acting exactly the same as Arthur, and then getting mad at him for acting exactly like Arthur is kind of an insane conversation that happened. But those are my main opinions. It was a Minecraft roleplay created by a high schooler that was just doing it for fun. Like, I had a great time. There was probably like a video or two that I found boring, that I just was like, oh, I don't want to watch this. And obviously there's like those cringy moments, but everything has those cringy moments. Like when Arthur like picks Skylar up, I was like, what's going on here? What are we doing right now? Yeah, but other than that, I love the series. I suggest you go watch it, and stay tuned for my next absolutely necessary recap of Void Paradox. Dear God, this is like 8 hours long. Oh.